Welcome everybody. SCS Season 4. We're in week 8. I got a new friend here. I'm Santos. I'm here with Light Rose. Light Rose, how you doing today?
I'm doing very nice. I've got a nice little Santa hat.
I like the
And
spirit. I'm with
yeah,
the
I'm,
spirit.
I'm feeling pretty festive.
You're also like representing a million different sports right now. Like obviously we're doing an esports broadcast, but you got a Packers hoodie on right now. Golden
Warriors
State Warriors
hat
beanie. Like I don't know what to make of it. But I'll tell you what we
all
have
over
to
the
make
nation.
today. We got PRYDE versus 303, and this is a banger of a game. This is a low-key banger.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, we got PRYDE versus 303. Now, PRYDE, they're sitting at that 6th spot. They're just on the cusp of playoffs, or they are in playoffs. They're on the cusp of losing that spot. And 303, they're right now, the best they can do is look to be the best of the rest, because there's a clear divide between these middle teams and these lower teams in terms of points. So they're looking to really get what they can. There's some friendly rivalries going on between some of the players. You got Sovereign being on 303 and Grave being the coach of PRYDE, and they're buddies. It's all in good sense.
I mean, we also have some interesting substitutes as well, but take a look at our maps before we get into that. Consulate and Oregon are two maps being played today. I feel like they're on different ends of the divide in terms of the aggressiveness that you can pull off on those maps, but nonetheless, I like our map picks today. We don't get to see Consulate very often, so I'm glad to have that on the board today. And then Oregon, I mean, it's happening all the time. I'm sick of it, but we have it today, so
Yeah, I mean, one gets played all the time, and then one gets played none of the time. So it's fun to see both ends of the spectrum. Sometimes some teams on Consulate, we've kind of gotten into the same areas. You've got Garage, Tellers. There's just certain sites that there's really only one or two ways to run them, and teams know how to go through and through. And so you really won't see Consulate too often. But it's glad that PRYDE, that's what they are going for their map pick. So clearly they've got something in mind for it.
Yeah, I mean, Consulate definitely just the unpredictability aspect because it's predictable in the sense that you only have two sites to go to, as you mentioned, but those two sites are really dangerous, and if you can get a pick off of one of those tertiaries, it's very hard to do. But if you can get one of those picks in terms of round count on those tertiary sites, it could really spell the difference here. But I'm expecting a close game. I'm expecting maybe an overtime. I'm not trying to curse anything, but I'm expecting it. I want to see it.
Overtime would probably help 303 more, because PRYDE needs as many points as they can to really distance themselves from Dallas Vendetta. Now, Dallas Vendetta is a rebranded first attempt, so it's not a new team or anything. So if you see some DVE, that is just the first attempt roster. They're just going by a different name. But PRYDE, they're looking to really distance themselves from Dallas Vendetta, so they need all the points they can get.
Yeah, if they went out today, obviously they're gonna secure their spot in the top 6 for at least another week. But let's take a look at 303. Obviously, you see a couple forfeits as well as the seasonal history. They've been taking their fair share of L's, unfortunately, but they have looked tough throughout the season. But Vicacious, Sovereign, Krill, Silver, Interactive. I think this is a stronger roster than most would expect. I'm expecting a little bit of a closeness despite that. Take a look at their attack win, obviously struggling a little bit, and then defense only taking about half. That's not really a spot where you want to be.
Yeah, I mean, right now they are on a 2-match losing streak, and they just need to find some way to get out of that, because while the rest of their season really is facing, you've got Visionary, these kind of lower standings teams, they still need to kind of get out of this rut. And I think a lot of people look to is probably Vicacious and Sovereign. These are the two gunners on the team, and they don't exactly have a relatively high KD. They're both just barely over and under about 1.1. So I think a lot of people look to them too much, that they are the two people that really need to put 303 on their backs, and that just really can't be the case, because R6 is a team game. As much as other people would like to say that it's not, you got to have everybody pulling their weight, and maybe it's time to look at the other members of 303, and this might be the match that they can start to shine.
Yeah, now on to Pride. Obviously, in our top six, they're currently sitting in that sixth spot. They want to secure that spot for yet another week. A little bit better faring on the defensive side, and then just taking those attack wins as they come. But you see Oni and Rizzer, they're the obvious two standouts of the team. Both sitting at a 1.12 and a 1.07, very consistent. Actually had a conversation with Ferme about what these ratings actually mean, and they're just a measure of consistency. So always showing up week in, week out, and then, a little bit of a wild card. But we do have a sub today. We're trading out Mac for Merc. So
not the MERC from TSM. This is MHERC, and you might recognize that name if you've kind of been in this scene. That is from the ex-Homeland roster who went around a couple leagues and won some championships. So this is going to be a very interesting game, seeing some old gunners, some old faces, and man, we might even see Pride just start to roll over 303 because Merc is a little scary.
It's all going to depend on whether he can sort of insert himself into the team and really take up that position and really just own it to himself and really provide that sort of consistency that they look to be missing. Obviously, you see all three of the bottom three players on Pride are looking for a little bit more of that consistency aspect, all of them sitting underneath a one, and they can show up. They've definitely shown up in the past, but yeah, looking at the standings now, obviously, Pride still sitting in that sixth spot, and then 303 just trying to climb that sort of bottom half of the standings. I think, as you've said, we've had that sort of divide be established, and now, each one of these standings are basically their own sort of tournament in a sense.
I mean, you've got the top four: Wichita, Lycus, In Control, and Redux, and then just this 7 points, which is Emergence, is Pride, and yeah, they can get there. But those top four teams just do not look like they are going to stop anytime soon. These point differentials are just going to start to get higher and higher. And then you go down to about Visionary and then the bottom four. And that is just where you mentioned it's these kind of like little tournaments. So you've got Pride, Emergence, Vendetta, and Visionary all battling just for that 2 spots in the playoff. And Redux and the rest are just not going to give them an inch. So it's really just a battle between these two teams. And Pride, they need to insert their spot as the top of that little midsection.
I mean, tiny bit of a preview to later today. Vendetta really needs to just start dominating in terms of how they can take these maps away, because not only are they looking a little bit down there in terms of round differential, but they are falling behind in the points aspect as well. Obviously, if Pride wins out today, there's not much that they're going to be able to do, but they at least need to match that strike for strike and really just try and pull yourself in if we want to see the former first attempt, now called Dallas Vendetta roster in these playoffs. But a little bit into the predictions, obviously not a lot of people going for this 303 side. We do see actually a tie from Rigel, our observers, so that's an interesting call. Henry also calling the 303 roster as well.
Yeah, I mean, you really shouldn't count 303 out. They've got some fire in them. They're not on the bottom for a reason. They've been able to pick up these wins here and there, and sometimes they've somewhat been able to be surprising. So to count them out, just say Pride all across the board, I think is unfair. Now, I don't know about Henry's pick going full 303 because Pride, for Pride to lose both maps, especially with the sub of Merc, and going on somewhat of a more unexpected map that I'm absolutely sure that they are more prepared for, it's a little brash, I guess, to go for 303. I can expect a tie. We see possibly 303. They come out on their map pick and they do win it on Orient. So we could see a 3-3 come out. Sticula coming out with the 303 as well.
I mean, they know something that we don't know, right? Obviously, our later game today is that big game that we were talking about between Dallas Vendetta and Phantom Legion. Obviously, it's kind of the same story. Not a lot of people giving Phantom Legion much of a chance. And Dallas Vendetta, I feel like they're aware of the urgency that they're in right now, and they really need to start taking points. So that's why I went with them. But yeah, some people giving Phantom Legion a chance. I personally don't think so, but we'll see. I don't know. I might be wrong. I'm a caster. I'm wrong all the time.
Well, so is Chief, but Chief always gets the predictions right. So,
Chief is just another brain. I have no idea how he does it.
we always look to Chief for these predictions.
I mean, we always look to him to just try and force the M870 ACOG down our throat.
Oh
so
my god.
I'm sure he's in the Twitch chat just making a bunch of just outlandish predictions right now and just saying a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, going over to the team statistics for the season, you can kind of see overall we see a lot of consistency and Pride. You know, we Mac they're not going to be playing today. We're seeing Merc, so it's not fair to discount that, but for tonight, just kind of put that out of your mind just for a little bit because we got a sub for tonight. But I mean, the rest of it looks pretty solid. And same for the operator lineups. We've got mostly consistencies off the board. About a Sledge, a Nomad, and a Zofia every single time. It's these same operator choices.
I mean, this meta has sort of led into aggression, I feel, from the attacking side, obviously. And I mean, on the defensive side is too, just because, you can't really depend on just having your back against the wall in the later portions of the round. So, trying to get those early picks is really monumental for both of these teams. We already track opening kills and opening deaths, but I feel that it makes even more of a difference now that we've seen the Jaeger shifts and things like that. So, yeah, look for a lot of aggression to happen in this matchup too. I know Pride loves to peek a bunch of things. I know they've been looking for a little bit more structure, but they do love their peaks whenever they can get them. And yeah, I'm expecting a lot of aggression here today.
I remember seeing something where there is almost no situation in which bringing a Zofia gives you a net loss. Like Zofia almost.
Yeah.
Do you think Zofia needs a nerf of sorts?
I don't think she needs a nerf. I do think that she just brings a lot of utility to the table, and she's just one of those mainstays. I don't want to see her get nerfed just for the sake of making other operators viable, but I think she's in a good spot where she's at right now. I don't know. What do you think?
I think somewhat there needs to be change of sorts. I don't know whether that's buffing other operators or somehow shifting them, like we've kind of seen from the Ashe. They took away her flashbangs, but gave her more breach charges or Ashe charges or whatever they're called. So there might needs to be a little bit of a shift, because to have a stagnant meta simply because it's working somewhat is a little unfair, I think, to the balancing of the game and just video games in general. That's something that esports really has, and the difference over regular sports. You don't see football suddenly everything is a 1st and 15. They don't balance stuff like that. So it allows for a lot of versatility and on the fly movement. And I think Rainbow Six, maybe changing Zofia in a sort might help with that.
I definitely agree, and with all the defensive changes as well, I could definitely see that happening in the near future. It's just going to take a lot of that sort of feedback loop just to make sure that the Zofia balance is sort of received well by the community. But we're hopping into the game relatively shortly here. We're just waiting on it, and yeah, you said it's kind of like Zofia +4 in our current meta. You're my +1 as we head into this setup, as we head into Consulate, and let's head into our bans. What are you expecting to see?
I would expect to see a Thatcher. Usually, you would see either a Thatcher or Thermite, simply because Garage Wall is just such an important part of that basement site. Usually might see, a Thatcher ban, that is the normal, but Thermite might actually receive a ban here, and he might be like the only map in which it's useful, because I think it's so much easier to get that wall open with Thermite rather than something like an Ace or Hibana. But Ace going away, that means you're really going to have like 1-2 options with a Maverick, Hibana, Maverick, Thermite, something like that.
I mean, I don't know if my opinion is any sort of indication, but I just prefer Thermite. I just feel like I'm one of the people, like I'm one of the weird people that don't like the AK-12. I'm just like weird like that. It has a lot of recoil to me. I'm not sure.
Because it does insane amount of damage and it's got a great fire rate.
I like recoil. I like being able to control recoil, but at the same token, I like Buck for whatever reason. So I'm just weird like that, I guess.
Okay.
But Valkyrie and Mira, a lot of information being denied. Obviously, those one-way mirrors very annoying to deal with. And then if Valkyrie can manage to throw her cams outside, if they go untouched, they're going to make a lot of a difference, especially towards like the basement site or even that top floor if they decide to go there. I don't think we're going to see it. We're going to see basement first by the looks of it. Not sure on the board, but let's hop in. I mean, Mute, only form of wall denial, but you kind of give up that wall in a sense and really just try to play for either a retake or just try and get your picks, because that wall is pretty much going to get open no matter what, unless your roamers are doing insane things up there.
Mhm. I mean, and we're going off of the 6 pick onto the castle, and there's also going to be a 0 in play. Now, this is such an interesting choice because what really could you see 0? He's able to shoot his camera through certain things, and if you don't bring a bandit or a Kaid to zap those cameras on something like that garage, well, you're might going to give some sort of information away. Even if you let that 0 cam stay alive for 1 second, just allow Trey Cram just a frame of peeking. These players know how to analyze so quickly that they're able to give out information. He's got 4 of them to use. We might see them being used on this top floor. Make sure that possibly office is clear if 303 want to go for that site. So Triquarium, I've seen, it loves to play 0, and I love to see Triquarium play 0 because he's such a unique operator. And he could have a lot of impact on a round that a lot of it goes unnoticed, but might be the reason 303 will win these rounds.
I mean, that hard breach device is definitely going to get used as well. We see Silver actually opting for the Hibana as opposed to the Thermite, as we mentioned, and just trying to be thorough with this sort of initial round presence, really just trying to clear from the top down. We talk about how, you know, there's sort of a checklist in Siege, and I definitely think 303 is going to look to sort of accomplish that checklist. But we do have the MP7 on 0 just to give him a little bit more of a spotlight, since it's, you know, it's going to be the first amount of times that we've seen him in this here meta. And actually, Krill taking a lot of damage. I'm not exactly sure where it's coming from, but he's getting pressured from, it looks like, up in CEO, and Oni's just trying to get those pick damages as whatnot. And yeah, 303 just trying to establish map control. They do have control of admin, but not much else.
Yeah, they're still just really looking to get their foothold into this top site. Nobody being on this top site, so they're gonna really allow the freedom to go forth, but they still got a lot of utility to deny. You know, you've got these castle barricades, you've got reinforcements that were put up there simply to delay 303. The only person around Oni who's gonna deal a little bit of damage to Krill's shins, but that might be enough just for 1 bullet to take out that Nomad, and that's gonna be enough as Oni's just gonna shrivel away like the tiny Australian rat that Mozzie is.
Yep, he's incredibly short and an incredibly compact body, despite only being a 2-speed, but he's going to be able to get away with his life. Meanwhile, Krill, obviously a little bit worse for wear, only sitting at about 25 health, but this defense is kind of like an onion. They're just trying to peel back layer by layer, starting with that top floor and working their way down, but 303 haven't really been able to establish too much control. They have yet to clear Rizzer outside of this bathroom, and he does have a bunch of room to fall back as well. So 303 stalling out just a little bit here, just looking for these picks. Vicacious, unfortunate timing there. Could have had a headshot to someone on basically freed with that bathroom hatch, but unfortunately just mistimes it. And they're going to be establishing this vertical control now. Vicacious with the opener onto Sam. So that's your Malusi off the board. Obviously no more Nitro Cell on, but oh, what a nice shot from Rizzer as he falls down into the bottom floor. Vicacious gets one and then he falls to another. And right now, Krill actually taking a lot of damage as well. He gets down. So Dylan just holding at the bottom of yellow stairs and just trying to deal with his vertical presence, but Rizzer is alleviating a lot of that pressure that they are feeling. Now, Silver and Sovereign are the only 2 members remaining from 303, and PRYDE have a lot of breathing room despite only having 20 seconds left. Oni demonstrating great patience here.
Oh no!
Of his life. Wait, he missed it. Oh, actually, he misses the Hibana. He has to win out against Silver, but Silver's not going to be able to win against Dylan. You can't beat a buckshot at that range. PRYDE takes round 1.
You see Oni just the key spamming and chat, the absolute patience it takes, because nothing could have come of that. And if, you know, they were able to take out Oni, that round could have flipped really, really easily because you've got 3 alive on both sides. You don't exactly have time, but I mean, you've got members of 303 that are really able to go around. You've got great guns. So Oni, good trigger discipline, just waiting it out. Almost got the clean 3K, but sadly, that's not going to happen. And please, please tell me we're getting the Oryx. I love Oryx, and I have yet to say yes, Merc. Thank you for not disappointing me. We're hopefully getting that Oryx on Archives Tellers. So there's going to be about 3 C4s for PRYDE to use on this site.
I love the C4 presence. Unfortunately, we only see 2. We got Dylan and Oni here, but you know, Merc on that Oryx to give that Yeah, just a little bit more attention. Obviously, that Oryx is very maneuverable despite his big figure. He's going to be able to move up and down those hatches with great ease. Also, the rotation potential as well. And he can even do a little bit of redestruction with his sprint into the walls. Yeah, he's going to hurt himself a little bit, but it's a very small amount of health, all things considered. However, I don't think you have enough C4s. If I'm going to be completely honest here, yeah, you have those impacts, but I like to see a lot of C4 presence just because of how this split site works. Obviously, you want to be able to have that vertical presence without having to peek. So, yeah, maybe not enough C4 presence here.
I mean, usually what you would see impacts on Malusi for is these, impact tricking. And I think there's not a lot of areas, especially hatches. Like you've got that, northern type of one right outside of Tellers, but I think it's just in overall, especially on this site, it's a lot easier to just get that C4. I mean, yeah, you can still do damage with that impact, but I don't know. Where is Sam gonna play as well? It might just be easier to, mobilely impact, just throw that Pokeball somewhere. But I think it really relies on where Sam is gonna play. If they're just gonna be in this basement, if they're gonna be somewhere on this first floor, I think that can really tell. But Merc, the only one on the second floor, actually on the yellow stairs as well, is just gonna be trying to somewhat put pressure on the rest of 303. Not for much, but just enough to make him a little weary.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be aware of his position as we move forward in this round here. He's just looking to get a pick and dash is Merc, but question is he going to be able to get it? 303 is looking very strongly stacked on this admin side, but Rizzer is coming to give a little bit of support as well as Vicacious moves forward throughout the long desk and is going to be looking to pressure down towards Spiral. But Merc just playing the patient game here, just waiting for that frag to happen, not really forcing anything here. Track actually has control of bottom spiral as well as into piano as well, so he could be in great position to cut off Merc and Rizzer, but Merc able to pull one back into Vicacious, and that is the entry again. Unfortunately for Vicacious, he wasn't long to last there, and he's going to be the first pick of the round.
Yeah, I think he really, Vicacious really looked like they had no clue where any of these players was, just rushing head first into danger. And now you're down a person of Triquarium, flirting a little bit with Death, or they're going to do some damage, but definitely nowhere near enough. So now through, they have to find a way to gain another opportunity. And it's going to be really hard with PRYDE, the rest of them just hanging out all the way in archives. At 303, they still have to plant this diffuser because getting in that basement, taking the rest of the members out, are going to be extremely hard, but taking out the pulse from the floor. Krill using great work of that IQ gotcha, and now 303 have the man advantage with 30 seconds left, and they're going to start to get that diffuser down.
Yeah, Silver's going to be looking to plant pretty much as soon as possible, but the Nitrocell actually fails, and unfortunately, Sam is able to pull one back onto Silver. So 10 seconds remaining onto the round. Is it looking likely? With Krill falling, not so much so. They do still need to get the diffuser down. Sovereign's going to be able to take control of it and start the plant. But are they going to be, do they know the position is the question here. Dylan actually walks into sight. He doesn't pull it off. He has to reload both of his guns.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh my. What?
Dylan! What? You're stealing the word. You're stealing the lack of words right out of my mouth, Light Rolls. How did you pull it off?
The SMG-11 has one of the smallest magazines in the game. They gave the mute enough time to reload, fire on the Zafia, and then kill the Zero with enough bullets left in the magazine. How do you come back from that? I don't.
I'm dumbfounded. Okay. Nice play by Dylan. He said it in game chat. We didn't see the first part. We're gonna ignore any of that ever happens and just act like you're a clutch master. Good job, Dylan. As we move into the tertiary bomb site, so PRYDE winning that round by the skin of their teeth, and onto the lobby and press room we go. We see actually a Rook being brought out. That's certainly an interesting pick. Obviously, that MP5 is very strong, and then slap a 2.0 sight on there, and you really just open up all of the different angles that you can play.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's very fun just to play Rook, put your armor down, and then just hold angles for the round because you have that 2-time scope. I believe he's one of the only members on the defense who has that 2-time scope. If I'm correct.
Does Doc have it?
Actually, Maestro has it on the ACS 12.
We're not talking about that. We don't need to talk about that. The older Burr, I don't want to hear it any differently.
Look, I've seen the Alda played in like Pro League one or two times, so that means it's competitively viable. So
whoa, okay, that makes complete and utter sense. You know what? I like that. I like that call. But we do see a more standard operator lineup outside of that. Obviously, the Malusi of Sam. Sam loves to play in those aggressive positions. We do see Merc on that Maestro, so really filling in that flex role. We saw him on the roam last time with Oryx. Now this time out, he's going to be on that Maestro. Just going to use that Alda to the best of its ability. All 81 bullets to cause some sort of hailstorm onto this weary 303 side right now. And it's not to say that 303 haven't been close in these rounds, because obviously last round, if it weren't for Dylan, if it weren't for Dylan, I mean, 303 would be up one. They would be tied up at 1-on-1 right now. But, you know, Dylan is just amazing, and we're going to ignore the fact that he missed an entire clip.
I mean, but if you're not able to really get that round, because that was entirely 303's round, they had the man count, they got the diffuser down. That was my only worry, was that they were not able to get the diffuser down, but they were, and then they just lost it. And wow, that I have no clue how that actually did not hit. But Sam, they're just gonna rush on way, and only Oni left on that second floor.
I mean, Oni's just going to look to hold this pretty aggressively. We do have Rizzer as well in the bathroom, just trying to cut off that projector doorway. And if they're not wary of that at all, they're going to lose their lives. But Sam actually gets refragged after getting the initial pick onto track. So unfortunately, those zero cams are not going to have much of a difference here. Sovereign is going to fall as well, and his struggles continue, currently sitting at 0-3. But Oni holding this position very effectively. He takes out yet another one. That's Vicacious to fall as well. They know that this Habana is sitting by long desk as well, and all it's going to take is a little bit of a pinch to flush him out. But unfortunately, Silver just tries to peek into Projector. He's going to fall as well, and it's going to be up to Krill alone in a 1v4. Not a situation you want to find yourself in, obviously. The stacks, the chips are forever not in your favor. The cards that have been dealt, it's just not looking good for you. Go get your picks. Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to be able to find any, as Oni currently has the advantage in the gunfight. Is he going to close it out? It happens almost immediately. Pride with an easy round right there.
Yeah, just the 416C, Oni, just absolute menace. And I think that's why Jaeger really isn't going to be going anywhere, because he still is able to delete these grenades on a team that really isn't cautious about their utility. And he just has such an amazing gun that you put it in the right hands. And in this situation, Oni, they were able to get a 3K in that round with some great angles too. Finding the Habana, finding the Zofia, I believe, by Projector. That was just such a great shot. And now they're up 3-0. These sites are refreshing. We're going back to basement. Where 303, they struggled. And so it is really not looking good for 303 on this attacking side. They were not able to get that one round. And even if we go back to archives, I don't see the same thing happening. So you got to find one here. You might be demotivated because just that it's not looking good. But going 6-0 Consulate on attack, it's a struggle.
It's rough to say the least, and I don't think 303's sort of misfortunes are going to be alleviated here, just because I'm not seeing any real adjustments here. Yeah, I don't see any change in the operator lineup, and you know, the fact that they're still bringing this Habana is kind of troubling to me, just because of how much the basement site really pivots around getting that garage while open. Yes, there are other ways to take into it, but they are very inconsistent in terms of their success rate. So yeah, we see Pride again just trying to hold this top floor and just giving them the survivability up there. Granted, if 303 can read into this and maybe go for a little bit of a rush, which I don't think is going to happen, they could potentially catch Pride off guard. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be another thorough clear here, which I don't think necessarily is the call here.
Yeah, they've done this in the past, but there's always been somebody on the second floor. And in this situation, it's gonna be Rizzer again. Not hiding in bathroom just yet, but you know, if Rizzer's able to find one person again, and Oni, oh no, on this window, and
My
Krill
goodness.
playing games on the phone, not paying attention to the world around them, and now Pride once again get this opening pick. They have members on this top floor, and 303 find themselves looking at an uphill battle.
My dad always told me you're always on your phone too much, and in that instance, I kind of see his point, because Krill was just unaware of anything that was going on, gets his head taken off easily, as you said, and yeah, they don't have any control outside of admin, which Pride was looking to forfeit anyway, and Oni's feeling himself. We got the bullet hole peaks going on as well, and yeah, 303, just not a lot of vigor to their attacks. They're really just taking one-on-ones, which they haven't proven that they can win up against this Pride lineup, and yeah, Oni's gonna opt for a drop there, just give up that little bit of map control. But 303 taking a methodical approach here. But if you keep feeding Pride ones with this methodical approach, pushing behind your drones, you're just gonna keep on losing these rounds out. But Rizzer actually feeling a little bit of pressure. He's gonna be moved into that bathroom. But again, just 303 with a little bit of mistiming and just not able to get map control very effectively.
Yeah, I mean, you really have nobody. If you're constantly taking these one-on-ones, you have nobody that really can contest to somebody like Oni, Rizzer, because Sovereign and Vicacious both have one kill combined, and those are the people you look to win these one-on-one gunfights. So it seems that they're asleep, and the rest of 3 just really can't compete. But luckily, Vicacious able to take out Oni. They're going to trade a little bit of health, but that is definitely one person you want to take off the board, and that's going to allow you to deal a lot of damage to the rest of this first floor. Possibly find one thing on this vertical. One player would possibly be able to give you really the entrance onto the site.
So now they're going to be opting to open up that garage wall. We saw the sledge taking out the mute devices that are preventing that wall from being open, but I feel like this is happening just a little bit too late, because they only have 15 seconds to get this plant down, and if they can read into the fact that they're trying to take into the garage, then they're going to get absolutely shut down. Dylan and Rizzer with shutdowns of their own, but Silver actually in position to get this plant down. Sovereign with control of the yellow stairs. Unfortunately, he can't win that fight. Diffuser does go down, though. Silver actually able to peel off the kill onto Rizzer, and it's all up to the substitute to pull this round back for Pride. He does have awareness of his position, but it's really just going to come down to this gunfight. Flashbangs come out from the Habana, but Merc, we talked about how nasty he is. Is he going to be nasty here? Not in this case. A little bit too close for comfort, but 303 eventually take this round, and they establish their first round of the game.
Yeah, luckily they're not gonna go down 6-0 on this defense, and I think in the end it just comes down to the guns there. I mean, Habana gets that Type 89, gets that Bearing 9, and those just have those high fire rates that we saw a little somebody named Dylan win that round too. So I guess in the end the world balances itself out. Around 303 should have won, goes to Pride, and around Pride should have won, goes to 303. All is well in the world, and we're gonna go back down to basement.
So you're telling me the teeter-totter is just like, it's just horizontal right now? It's just in a perfect horizontal line?
Perfectly lined. For every yin, there must be a yang.
Well, I mean, Pride's going to attempt that again. Obviously, they want to establish a yin once more, and I don't expect to see much adjustment from this Pride team, just because of how effective that hold really was, and it really just came down to them losing those mute devices. And as I said, it's all down to whether or not you can get that garage wall open, and it caused a lot of confusion from Pride. They weren't able to flush out the planter, and that really just spelled the end for them. It's one of the harder retakes in the game, and unless, you know, you're throwing your bodies outside, which they weren't doing, 303 were very smart about it. And yeah, Pride unfortunately not going to be able to flawless here today, but they have looked in control. They were in control of that last round, but yeah, some good plays from 303 really pulled that out for them.
Yeah, I think possibly it just might have come down to, you know, once they got that diffuser down, 303's chances just shot way up.
Right.
I mean, we saw the Malusi was trying to be somebody, weren't exactly aware of the surroundings, and then Rizzer died to the Habana after that diffuser got down, and you saw Rizzer said they thought that Zafia was the last one alive, so they're just like, oh, we won the round, guys, and then they didn't. So I think it just comes down to pride. You know, they won these 3 rounds. One round was super close, and they just won that at clutch round. So it just kind of built their ego up. And I think that's one round that you can really give to 303.
Yeah, I'll give 303 the credit for that round. Oni again just holding this aggressive position. Are we gonna see a deja vu situation here where Krill just gets killed again? He's very far from the window. He's very aware of the fact that Oni likes to play in that spot, and he doesn't want to get killed by that again. But Oni repositioning up towards yellow stairs is just gonna hold a different angle of it overall, and they might actually have the assumption that it's clear. Sovereign looking to take the fight to Oni, but only some bullets being traded, not any HP, and Oni just able to exist, but having trouble with these drones, and he's just getting flushed out of position after position. And 303 with a much more comprehensive top floor take than we've seen in the past.
Yeah, they're actually, I don't want to curse it, but they're not going to lose somebody on this top floor. I mean, we see Oni and Rizzer, they're both on this first floor, and that's really good for 303. But Sovereign able to take out Sam as well. The pick actually going to go to 303, and if they're really able to follow up on that, if they're able to flush Rizzer out of that bathroom, this round goes so much heavily in their favor. But it really comes down to how they want to take Rizzer out of the bathroom, if they really want to pressure Rizzer at all, or if they just want to focus more on this vertical play.
Yeah, Rizzer just, oh no, team kill, unfortunately, onto one of your best gunners. That's Sovereign falling to the bullets of Vicacious, and there's going to be a little bit of frustration if those team comes, but they can't really live with that right now, as they do flush Rizzer out. I don't know if there was enough pressure there to really flush him out of the position, but nonetheless, he is going to fall to that first floor. And again, they're just going to be looking for that vertical pressure to try and force people into positions, as well as take out those mute devices that are guarding that garage wall, and just allow Silver to do what he does best and go into the site for basically free and get that plant down. But with only 20 seconds left in the round, it's looking a little bit tight in terms of the time crunch. But Dylan is going to fall to the SMG-11 of Vicacious, and they do have the wall open, and they are going to be able to get the pressure into the site. The Malusi devices really just biding the time there, but a bunch of kills being brought out very quickly. Track actually now in a 1v1 against a very hurt Merc, but unfortunately just not a lot of time remaining, and Pride win that round. It was a lot closer than you would think. That top floor take was very proficient, but the execute just wasn't there.
Yeah, I really expected, that's what I expected from Pride in that previous round. You know, we did see those angles being held, the gunfights being won, and that Pride, we did see them actually come out and win that round. Even though 303, if they got that fuser down, their chances would have gone way up, especially with the amount of people that they had on the team. But in the end, it just comes down to the ringer Rosie around the yellow stairs.
I mean, that yellow stairs is just such a powerful position too. Like, you can't you have to keep control of that no matter which team you are, whether you're the attack or the defense, and that almost applies itself to pretty much every other site. But it shows it's magnified on the basement for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then that Malusi device just, giving away the plant position, that was big as well.
I thought that the melee happened? Did that actually not work? They were just able to.
It did happen, but I think the sound just kind of it already went off. Yeah.
Yeah. So Merc, they're able to get that double kill and make it so Pride, they're not gonna at least give up a 3-3. So now the only chance for 3-3 to really somewhat make this split equal is they've got to win this attack. But going on to lobby and piano, this is going to be a lot harder because of how much pressure Pride is putting on this top floor. They don't have a Mozzie this time around. You know, we're seeing Oni once again on the Jaeger, which we love to see. We're seeing a Malusi, a Smoke, a Maestro. So a lot of operators that are designed to delay this attacking team, designed to give info out. And info is what Pride lives on. If they're able to delay it enough, we might see, Riz or Oni just get that flank around, because 303, they've struggled with that flank watch.
303 going for the same strategy that they have in the past 5 rounds, just trying to take onto this top floor. And I do agree with the strategy to a point. Obviously, it has worked for them in the past. They were able to clear out the PRYDE defenders, and they are able to clear out Oni. That's a very big gun off the board, actually, with that 416 no longer able to do damage and track. I'm sure that was like a very nice angle to get that peek on, but unfortunately, Sam was actually sitting in the room that you intended to clear, but he's not going to be able to win the gunfight against Vicacious, who was just walking into admin. You had to have expected it coming, but unfortunately for PRYDE, just the bullets aren't hitting, and 303 with a lot of control over this round.
I guess in the best sense, it's just unluckers, but RZR's gonna start equaling it up, taking out Krill, and if Dylan's able to find another one, is there still this roam presence on the top floor? Still have to take down both Dylan and RZR. It's just Merc all alone trying to anchor on this site. So, but now Dylan just gonna zoop all the way down on piano along with RZR, so it's not over yet. As this Merc just sneaking up those stairs.
Merc looking a little bit sneaky there, gives away his position, and all for pretty much not able to land a lot of damage, maybe a little bit onto Sovereign, but instead he's just gonna have to fall back towards that piano site. And unfortunately for RZR, he's not gonna last much longer either. He gets taken out by Vicacious, and it's gonna be all down to Dylan and Merc. But as we saw from Dylan, he's obviously the clutch master. He's looking to pull out yet another one from his butt, but unfortunately, I think 303 just have all of the control they need to potentially get a plant down. They do have control of all of Circle Desk, and it's all going to come down to the information game from PRYDE to pull this one back here. But 45 seconds remaining. They have plenty of time to just try and get another pick out here. Merc, just taking a lot of vertical pressure as well. But Dylan, is he going to be able to get this flank off? Oh, no, they were expecting it. Sovereign able to get that final kill, and Merc, he does get one onto track, but it's not looking likely here. He has to shut down this plant. He does 2-1. 303. It's still with a lot of control here, but only 20 seconds remaining. They got to get this plant down.
How much HP Merc has and how much gun skill and the rest of 303 have. I don't see Merc weighing it out, but we've seen crazier things, have we not? They know exactly where Merc's positions are. The live pings are coming through. Ooh. Reload has to happen, and time is just ticking away. Vicacious right on the diffuser, and Sovereign's going to go for a really long flank, just try to get a really good position, but the time is just slowly draining away. About 20 seconds left for Merc to really try to get on this diffuser, but still 303 is living. Merc able to take out Vicacious, but Sovereign has the vertical angle, and they are going to take out Merc, and 303, they're going to win 2 rounds on this attacking side.
You were gassing up Merc before in the pregame. That was close. That was very close, but unfortunately, Sovereign with a very well-timed rotation. But if Merc was a lot more aggressive in the beginning, maybe he gets that pick, and the rotation would have been too late. But good play by Sovereign, and PRYDE, unfortunately, only able to take out 4. Now you do have the advantage here as you head into your attacking side, and with the predictability of Consulate, I almost want to say that it is an attacker sided map, but again, no thermite. I miss thermite, man. I just miss those big holes. I just miss the holes. I just miss, just being able to run into sight instead of having to crouch through a hole. It's inconvenient.
He's like Santos likes big holes, basically. So,
chat, clip that. Clip that right now.
Confirmed.
Clip that right now and send it. Send it to anyone you have to. I like big holes. It's confirmed.
I didn't say it. I was just saying what you said, basically.
I mean, I might as well confirm it, since, my credibility is just falling by the wayside here. And, a basement side we go. Interesting rotations that we have here. You're not listening to me anymore. You're just laughing at the fact that I like big holes.
I am laughing. Yeah. No, I am laughing.
Great.
Monkey brain is appeased.
Monkey brain. Yes. I mean, we're bigger brains than that. I would hope. Kind of.
I suppose that's what I've been told by a couple of people. They always try to hype us up as these big brain casters, and meanwhile we're just talking about what.
I mean, nah. I mean, no one really hypes us up except for people that respect us. But I'm not gonna get into that.
All right.
Not getting into that for fear of losing my job. But yeah, into the round we go. And Vicacious, we see a little bit more of the same strategies that are being brought out. Obviously, you need to be able to hold this top floor, but 303 only expending a couple of bodies here. Obviously, they have the flexibility from Krill to be able to rotate up those Visa stairs and establish pressure as well. But yeah, I think we see a little bit more of an anchor heavy setup from 303, and I do like that. I like the aggression from Pride as well, though. I like everything. I like everything. I like everything I see.
Yeah, I think it's possibly because 303 doesn't have, I think, the raw skill that Oni, or at least what we've seen in this map so far. That Oni and Rizzer, they've been on this run, they've been on this top floor, and they've just been able to able to out rotate 303 on their attacks. So, hanging back, just waiting for Pride to really go into your crosshair, I think is a better choice here, given how most of this game has gone. But there's still a roam happening. We've still got,
Right.
Vicacious on the second floor and the Mozzie really flip-flopping in between, just trying to get something. But Pride, they're going to be allowed to really deal some vertical damage to the second floor.
A lot of verticality being established here, but actually not a lot of control being happening here though. Like they don't have much control over this middle floor, which could potentially bite them. They do still have a little bit over a minute to try and establish that control, but unfortunately for them, this take is looking a little bit slow here, and maybe that comes down to the information game. But I would expect to have the Visa and like mid floor control by now. But again, just maybe a slower, more methodical. Wait, what? Forget what I'm saying. What is going on? Why is that unreinforced? I'm sure it's reinforced, right? Like
that's not reinforced. And
is that?
No, that's not reinforced.
I mean, okay. I'm okay with it, I guess. Just allow yourself to have that flexibility. Obviously, soft walls go both ways, so it's viable. I'll give it the respect that it deserves, but 30 seconds remaining here. Merc just again trying to establish that verticality and trying to eliminate some of the utility that 303 has at their disposal here. But it was definitely unreinforced because now there's a gigantic hole in that wall. And 15 seconds remain. Dylan is going to be looking to try and force his way behind the white band to get that plant down, but yeah, actually, they do have a little bit of control here, but Krill with a nice shot from the P10 Roni, able to take out Sam, and they're just falling over and over again. Merc just trying to entry a little bit and open that up, but unfortunately, too little too late. 303 with a lot of momentum right now. They take round 7.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great job, not going for that top floor roam. Instead of, and they're just waiting for Pride to start their attack, and Pride just didn't start their attack until about a minute 30 seconds, a minute 2 or 30 seconds in.
Yeah.
And when we finally noticed the unreinforced garage, and I'm pretty sure probably at the same time that Pride did, because that was the time where we saw the Habana start dealing damage to the wall with the X Kairos and, the hole coming through. And might we see that crazy play coming out where some crazy strategies where we just leave one, because now you've got a great hole that you can just don't say anything, a big hole that you're able to shoot through.
I mean, how does that go unchecked for basically the whole entire round, though? Like, the questions have to be there because, obviously you want to be able to establish that control, but really, you had all of the room you needed to just get that aggression going, which is something that Pride definitely excels in. And, you talked a little bit about the mechanical skill, and when you're able to force 303 into these one-on-one gunfights, then you can sort of tilt the ground in your favor. But unfortunately for Pride, just playing a little bit too slow for themselves and not able to establish enough control in time as a result of it. But to the lobby we go, and again, do we see 303 just adopting the sort of Pride mentality? And yeah, they're going to expend pretty much everybody to this top floor. And yeah, I think Silver is going to be that main rotation downwards to act as a anchor-ish player, kind of. No, Krill's down there now, but yeah.
Yeah, we might see a little bit of an anchor side, because that's what really allowed 303 to win the last round, was just how much they dedicated to that little anchor area. But 3 members right now are going to be on that top floor, and will for the first time, I believe, in this round. So 2 grenade denial operators, but PRYDE already going in on that east side office, and Sam just being very aggressive. And I think that's what PRYDE really can do, is just be aggressive, take 303 by surprise. And if they're able to do that, take one, maybe two people, that just snowballs to the rest of the round. But if 303, they know something is coming in, that drone signals it. They got to be ready for this attack.
Yep, if you're track, your spidey senses are definitely tingling right now as you're losing you're just losing a lot of control that you can have and a lot of that flexibility that you have inside of Connector and PRYDE. They're sort of meeting a brick wall right now. The question is, are they going to be able to breach through that brick wall? It looks like they're going to start with Projector here. Obviously, Track just not giving up that position at all, knowing that he has no rotation out, and he's just going to look to take a pick with him. But unfortunately, the only thing he actually takes a kill. I was going to say he's only taking some bullets with him, but RZR not actually able to land the quick peeks, and they're just falling like flies. Our PRYDE as Vicacious is able to pull another one. Sovereign with a C4 kill as well, and this PRYDE attack is looking poor right now. Yes, a very nice kill from Merc through the window, but unfortunately, there's not much that you can get done with 2 people versus 4.
I mean, Merc right now is leading in the entire match in kills, but kills really don't seem to be the problem here. The gunplay does not seem to be the problem. It just seems that PRYDE is really just throwing bricks at the wall that 303 has built up, trying to really put a dent in it, and it's not working at all. I think they're just trying to throw at them with pressing W key and just raw firepower. It absolutely does not work. Merc taken out by Vicacious. That's going to allow a little bit more flexibility, especially as that Maestro cam goes down. But they still have 30 seconds on the board. They have Diffuser in their hand. It is still winnable. Dylan got that 2v1 earlier, and Merc almost won a 1v4 or 1v3 earlier. So clutch is in both of these players' names, and they have a little bit of time left to do it.
Just a little bit of time, only 15 seconds as a matter of fact, but Merc is walking into a very dangerous situation, and Dylan wasn't going to last very long. Neither was Merc. That SMG from the Alibi is just proving very accurate and very fast firing, and yeah, 303 just looking absolutely insane so far, and PRYDE just really just fishing for answers.
I mean, they really are struggling. We're seeing a little bit of almost a switching of teams in general. Like 303 looks how PRYDE looked on their defense, and PRYDE looks how 303 looked on their attack. And I don't know if that has anything to do with the map, because it just looks like, in general, both of these attacks just have been really lackluster and chaotic. And chaotic isn't exactly where either of these teams revel.
I mean, here's the gigantic thing about it, though. 303 has yet to lose on this defensive side. It took PRYDE 3 rounds before they gave up their first attack to that 303. But yeah, if 303 can just pull out 3 more rounds here, then they're going to be able to take this matchup. And obviously, you know, PRYDE was looking for every point that they can get. But right now, it's just looking a little bit too close for comfort. And Krill, you want to move there? You want to just move your 3-speed. You definitely have the no, there you go. Get moving, man. You got some site setup to do. You gotta, you know, establish your position, get that verticality going with that nitro cell as well. But yeah, as I was saying, you know, PRYDE just their top 4 take hasn't been that big of an issue. I mean, like they gave up a lot of time to that person playing inside of projector, or not projector, excuse me, inside of connector. And yeah, wait, did I say the top 4 take wasn't a problem? No, it's definitely the biggest problem that they had in that last round, and they're going to look to brush that up just a little bit here as 303, interestingly enough, goes to that top 4 defense.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the site that a lot of teams just ban outright. They're like, we are not practicing it because we're never, ever going to go to it. And we're seeing it right now. 303, I don't know if it's the confidence in how their defenses have played, but I highly doubt that they have practiced a lot of the second floor defense. And PRYDE already right outside the site. RZR in that bathroom, Merc and Dylan already in break room. And the rest of 303, they're on this western side, so they're giving a lot of map control over to PRYDE. So it's just, I am super interested to see how the rest of this round is going to play.
It's going to come down to whether or not Sovereign and the Pulse of Krill are going to be able to pull off these flanks, because right now PRYDE has full control of that, of the eastern half of the top floor, and they do actually, I think they have a lot of control over Projector as well. So, you know, they could potentially get a plant down if they so choose, but again, they're just going to be looking to sort of play the angle game a little bit and just try to get a pick and make it a little bit more safe, because Track playing inside of Connector as well as Merc just not playing the map anymore, he's going to get taken down, and that's your top frag falling. 10 kills so far, looking absolutely insane, but he's not going to be able to get any more in this round. And yeah, PRYDE just trying to play these long angles and trying to catch 303 in a rotation, but 303 has their guns perfectly trained, and PRYDE currently just not being able to be so prideful, and they're just getting slowed down here. But they could get it back rolling with Vicacious falling to the gun of Rizzer, and Dylan actually hesitating on the plant a little bit, but he is eventually going to try and get it down. Sam taking a little bit of damage, but so far, Dylan just going to get that plant down. PRYDE with another kill, and they have control over this round.
Yeah, it's just up to Sovereign. Diffuser is down. Things are just absolutely not looking good, because you've got to get on the site and you've got so many members that are just so all over the place. This is so hard to retake, and you wonder, maybe that was a mistake.
Why?
Maybe going to second floor on Consulate was possibly a mistake.
Just why? I mean, I have no idea. You know, they obviously know something, just because, you know, they're in their comms. Maybe they were feeling confident in that, but I think there's a reason why that top floor is primarily reserved for like ranked, because that just did not. I don't know. I mean, that just did not look good. It looked like it was starting okay when the guns were just trained onto PRYDE, and they looked like they weren't going to be able to advance past long desk, but after they were able to get a pick, just the rest of it just got shut down. Yeah, just leave that site for ranked, please.
There were so many members of 303 on the western side, and it allowed so much map control so early to PRYDE that they're able to drone out, because they had so many drones in their pocket. They had the utility to get rid of all this defensive utility. And once PRYDE got a pick, they were just able to get on site. You saw right up on the balcony was the sledge, and that allowed for a crossfire, and just that is why you don't go to that site. And with that strategy, it just did not work. Absolutely.
I'm just interested as to why you would, you know, these reinforcements are interesting. I can see why you would do it, but there's certainly some on-site reinforcements that I would rather see. So maybe if we get them in an interview, maybe we can ask them a little bit about that, because I'm just not so sure about it. Again, are they just going to leave this third wall? Is that what's happening right now? Thank you, Rajal. Shout out to Rajal, by the way, for highlighting this. But I think PRYDE are reading into it, and they're just gonna look and take yellow control as well as control of piano, and then just rush their way in. Because right now, I don't think 303 is in position at all to try and deny this. There goes the rush. There goes the rush. Wait, but they're actually not able to deal very well. Track taking out a bunch of people, triple kill on the round. But Oni and Rizzer, we know how strong they are. They are the captains of this team. They're going to be looking to sort of pull this back out. Not aware of this position in terms of his cams is Krill, and he's going to fall while he's playing on his phone. I hope the Angry Birds game was worth it, because you are not in a good position and you lost your life for it, my friend. But Track with a triple on the round. It's now down to a 2v2, but Oni is sitting at a little bit over 25 HP. And again, we just see the round slow down just a little bit, and they're going to try and flush out Track from that Pipes position.
Yeah, the ADS there, they're going to try to see if there's any more left, but Trek knows that just somebody is out for blood, so he's going to back off. And right now, I think this has been the game of the SMG-11. We've seen that thing going off. We saw the clutch. We saw the Traquarium 3K. And now it's just up to these two members. One of each has an SMG-11. I want to see the 1v1, please. Rizzer's going to try to get this wall open, start to get this diffuser, as Silver is going to go bye-bye.
Oh, no. That's so unfortunate. Those are the Maestro cams as well. All they're going to be is just a little bit of information at that point, but Rizzer is going to be looking to get this diffuser down. Track is in perfect position to get the smoke grenades off to cover it, and yes, he does, but unfortunately not aware of Oni's position. They could have won that out with Silver at their disposal, but unfortunately, Silver just got yeeted out of the lobby. There was some natural selection going on. Apparently, he wasn't selected.
It was just that was
That's
so
so
unfortunate.
rough.
It's because that was obviously winnable for 303. They won that garage area earlier, and have somebody leave, especially with somebody like Rizzer still available, is just it's heartbreaking. But now Pride, they're on match point, and 303 going 2 rounds down is going to be, you're looking once again at an uphill battle, and that's just something that they've had all game.
I mean, let's just highlight that last round for a little bit. It was so backwards. The execute happens before the rest of the clear. Like the execute happened before they got the vertical control, before they opened that panel, or the white van panel. Just that was so weird, but I liked it in a sense. And thanks to Pride for reading into the fact that wall was unreinforced. It's still head scratching to me, but I'm here for the new strategies. I'm here for a new meta to be set up.
I think they just underestimated Triquarium hiding behind the deploy field. Because
Track is just wow.
That was the reason that really did not work, was because there was one person hiding on pipes and just burnt. Like, you think the Alder goes burnt. The SMG-11 goes burnt in all capitals.
It just goes burnt in all caps, but less R's. Like it can't do it for as long, but it certainly just melts people for whatever reason. That somehow worked. I don't know how, but it did.
And I correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe I don't know if it's going on like the test servers or something, but Ubisoft is actually adding the ability to pause custom games.
We could use that right about now.
I was thinking earlier about that, and like, I hope we don't have a rehost, but that would be the perfect time to talk about the fact that Ubisoft is adding a pause button to these custom games, which would be a lifesaver for pretty much everybody.
It'd certainly be a lifesaver for us right now, because we're just kind of sitting here. Unfortunately, Silver gets yeeted out of the lobby, and we're going to get yeeted off the desk, but only for 5 minutes. We'll see you right after the break. Apparently, they like us and they wanted to bring us back soon.
I don't know. That's weird, but
I don't know. I mean, welcome back. Welcome back. We got Pride versus 303 still on the docket. Certainly been an interesting match so far. That's to say the least of it.
We have seen some crazy things. Let's try to count them off. So round 2, we saw the thing that left us speechless was a 1v2 Archives Tiller plant retake with one magazine of the SMG-11. What else was there?
We're not allowed to talk about anything that happened before that round, by the way. Dylan told us not to, so I mean, we gotta kind of shut up about it. But let's see what else happened. We can talk about that last round too. I mean, obviously, just the basement site overall for these last couple rounds. Obviously, just leaving that panel unreinforced has certainly been a weird point of contention for sure. So another one.
I mean, it almost worked out for 303. Put somebody behind that if they're able to hit their shots, which they were. If Silver didn't unfortunately disconnect, we might have seen, that 303 win that. The ultimate bait. All that they could have done to increase the bait power was just bring Alibi. That would have been the best.
Just create that sort of just confusion, and then if you hop into his name is now Truckquarium in game, so if you hop into his fish tank, you are going to die. You are going to just lose your life to that SMG-11. It went absolutely insane. Forget the Alda. We have a new sheriff in town.
The Truckquarium Aquarium. That's not the name of Truckquarium's personal Discord server. I'm gonna get angry.
I mean, make it happen, Track. But see these round replays right now. Obviously, Pride with a lot of control initially, but 303 were slowly but steadily working it back, and we're at a very close point in the game right now. But yeah, I mean, the Pride aggression worked out for them on the defense, but we're not seeing that same level of aggression on their attacking side.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be confident aggression. There is unbridled aggression, and then there's controlled aggression. And right now, Pride really don't know what they want to do on this attack. We've seen them, first they were held back, and then they just didn't really know what to do with their aggression. And then last time you just saw that uncontrolled aggression, and it worked out in the end, but it might not happen a second time because there were things that happened really out of both teams' powers.
Rehost.
Mm-hmm.
Rehost. Pause button. We'd love to have you. You are welcome in our lobby at any time. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things just not happening for both of these teams here, and it's been kind of the story of just who can get whose aggression is going to work out for them, because obviously 303's guns aren't necessarily as well trained as Pride's are, but 303 has excelled in their positioning, so 303 have really just sort of excelled on this defensive side. But Pride, they're looking to walk all over them, but unfortunately they just don't know where to walk. There's no crosswalk or anything. There's no light telling them to step off the sidewalk.
Yeah, there was that for the defensive side, but for the attacking side, they aren't having that, and they are on match point. They're able to clear this out because they need to get as many points as they can. 1 point as we get later and later into the seasons can really be the difference between making this playoffs and not. And Pride, they're on that edge. They need to get every single point that they can. They need to get every round that they can. And they need to win this outright. And we're going back to cafeteria and garage. Silver, please don't disconnect.
Silver, we need you here. If not for we don't want to rehost anymore. You need all 5 of your players on 303, because it's been evident for their side that you need all of your players just clicking heads and doing their thing, just fulfilling their roles as much as possible. And when they're all just perfectly in sync, then you give yourself the best chance to win. And Pride obviously can take 3 points away right here, right now, but if they leave this panel unreinforced again, I don't know what I'm going to say. I'm just going to.
They need to add an operator that can add signs where people can type things out, so they can just say, "Come in, I dare." Because I think that is exactly what 303 is doing. They're leaving that open, and they're just betting on the fact that somebody's going to bust it open, rush on in, do something stupid because they don't really expect it. They're like, "Oh, it's a mistake.
It's happening again."
It's I wouldn't expect anything different, honestly. But I know that Pride is not going to bite this time.
I mean, it really came down to just track being insane on top of pipes. So, you know, maybe they do bite and maybe they just try to bite back at track. But yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Instead, they're going to go for a more Visa-sided, maybe rush strat because we see how heavily they're stacked up over on the side. So it's looking like a little bit more of a server-sided affair here. But yeah, it looks like it's going to slow down. No, not slow down at all. They're going to drop everybody, and Krill's going to be able to deal with it. Oh man, what Krill, you already got your 2. You didn't need to overachieve there. Unfortunately, not going to achieve much more. No more gold stars, and oh my goodness, the kills are just happening so quickly. Vicacious with another one onto Oni. He had the only kill for Pride, but 303 is just shutting this down.
They want this rush strat. They want this uncontrolled aggression. And 303 are just not letting them. It is, I don't want to say it's funny to see, but it is definitely entertaining to see 303 just absolutely waiting for Pride to just go, oh, it's a hatch. We can all jump down. No, it's an unreinforced wall. We can bust it open and jump on through. And all of a sudden, 303, they've won these last 2 rounds. Actually, no, they didn't win the last 2 rounds. They won, probably going to win this round based on the fact that Pride are just, they've taken the bait, man.
It's just, it's time to put your thinking caps on. All right, we aren't fish. You guys aren't part of the Traquarium. Like, you guys can definitely just adjust your attack. You can read into the fact that they're just trying to bait you into taking these fights. But Rizzer walking to a Captain Trap actually does take out Vicacious. Not a Captain Trap, excuse me, but some sort of explosive. He does take a lot of damage for it. But 303, again, just still in control. I think they're going to read into the fact that he's going to come down yellow, especially with this Melusi trap, the Banshee device, as well as this barbed wire, just sort of spelling it out in big old letters there for 303, and the guns are trained onto yellow.
Things not looking good for Rizzer, and the Fuser's still on the eastern side, all the way near Archives. And Rizzer, they're just going to go all the way back to Spiral. Yeah.
There's no chance they let him get that plant off. If they let him get a plant off in a 1v3, I'm completely taking back everything that I've ever said about Pride, and just, yeah, that would have been or excuse me, 303, I would have taken back every single positive thing I've ever said about them, because that is just something that can't happen. But I'll tell you what can happen. They can force a 6-6 right now.
Yeah, going over to Lobby and 303, they're looking pretty good. They're going to stay with a little bit of the same thing. The basement kind of sounds like Ferme's hit single. Rigel need to say that. Yeah, Ferme posting bangers on the Twitter. You might want to check that out. Give it a little retweet, give it a little like. Ferme puts a lot of heart.
I know, like, Ferme, can you send me that? Can you send me that in a 1-hour version just so I can listen to that driving? Just like send me the whole just composed track. Like, even in the current state, it's absolutely fire. But enough of gassing up our directors here. I'm sure they already get it enough as it is. We got match point here for Pride, but 303 have definitely looked like the stronger side on this defense. And Pride, you got to close it out here. You need all the points you can get right now.
Yeah, I will Pride go for something like an office take. Will they go for the usual? Because I think the usual is kind of what they need. They've been going for something out of the ordinary, the funky strat that 303 might not expect, but 303 is outbraining Pride. They're like, we expect you to take the unexpected, you fool. You activated my trap card, and Pride need to do something that they need to unexpect the expection of the unexpected, you know?
What?
If you dedicate some brain power, I'm pretty sure that makes sense.
I don't think it does. I don't think it does, but apparently I don't have enough brain power for it.
Exactly.
You know what? Light Rose has a gigantic brain, a lot bigger than mine, and I'm just gonna let that sit because Pride are currently taking control of admin. We've seen this take pretty much all game. It's kind of standard on this map, but they're not really biding their time very well. They only have one person in with, or actually 2 now with Rizzer and Sam, but again, it's just looking like a deja vu of pretty much every other round that we've seen. But yeah, it's just going to come down to whether or not they can win these long-range gunfights, and Track has come alive as of late. he's very dangerous inside of that connector for sure.
We're seeing a little bit of a kind of split take from Pride. You know, we're seeing somebody on balcony. We're seeing Merc on balcony. Rizzer and Sam both near that office, and then Oni, and I don't even know where this other person is. But they're all just kind of in different areas. And I don't think that that's definitely a bad thing. If they're able to start this execution and get at least one pick, you know, maybe clear some utility, just something that would allow me. Yeah, Dylan's on this northern side in bathrooms. So they literally have members all over the building. And they're just waiting. And now that Sam takes out Triquarium, even though Rizzer goes down, this might allow for an execution onto site.
It definitely opens up a lot of doors here for Pride here, and they've pretty much opened up this whole top floor. Unfortunately, Track wasn't as strong as I thought he was. Unfortunately, he does get fragged out of that connector, and now we do see a little bit of reconstruction happening. Obviously, they're looking to do a little bit of remodeling to this very old Consulate building, and yeah, it's just looking like Pride is going to be setting up this execution. I'm not sure exactly where they're going to be able to plant, just because I'm not exactly sure, just based on these vertical holes, what they're really going for. But they do have stacks towards this sort of yellow side. But with 30 seconds remaining, you do have to start making these difficult decisions pretty soon.
And Jaeger just hanging right around on vending machines. They're going to back off a little bit. Ooh, Oni's gunfire barely going to miss them. Vicacious is really the one that's just running all around the building that you need to find out. As Pride, they only have 15 seconds left, and there are still 4 members of 3 live. 3, excuse me, as Sam goes down as well. It's a 3v3. Diffuser needs to go down, and that prone is going to allow Sovereign to get the kill. Merc and Dylan, who has 4 seconds left, is going to win that out, but there's no time to get the Diffuser down, and they're going to try, but I do not think it's going to happen. And there we go.
No, let him be alive. Just get that cost rating. Just let him have that piece of cost, and yeah, just nope. That's not going to happen. Silver denying people of any sort of fun. We're going into overtime. We're having fun with this matchup so far. It's 303 starting on that defensive side. I think Pride's attack have definitely been looked a lot weaker than their defense. So I think this stacks into the side of 303. Obviously, you got to win by 2. We got the infinite overtime here at SCS. We love it, kind of.
Kind of. Depends how long it goes. If it goes to like 10, 11, that's when it starts to get like, okay. Can somebody win now, please?
Can somebody just take 2 rounds in a row, please?
I had an idea last round with something like that. What if Ubisoft added finishing moves unique to every single operator? Like they were standing still, you held down the melee button or something that allowed you to do a really cool finishing move. Wouldn't that be cool?
I'd like that. I mean, I'm down for it. Does Cade with his aides just end up reading you a bedtime story and you just say goodnight to yourself?
Cade throws an electrical, like drops one on you and he just zaps you to death. I want to think of like unique operator finishing moves.
This isn't Mortal Kombat.
That would be so cool. But
I'm down for it. I'm down for it. Light Rose with the big ideas, and yeah, let's put you on the art team. Let's put you on the art team at Ubisoft.
Look, I am very bad at art. I highly doubt that I would do well. I can draw like a stick figure, and that's about it.
Well, I mean, stick figures, just like this attack, looks all the same. We're looking at another deja vu onto the admin side. And, it's a very valid strategy. It definitely does work. But, yeah, 303 just holding the exact same positions as you would expect. Nothing out of the ordinary being brought out here from either one of the sides, really, here. Obviously, we actually don't have Track opting to play inside of actually, it's a basement defense. I kind of forgot that. I was kind of rambling. But, here we are now. But yeah, a lot of just the same thing happening over and over again. Pride just looking to take on this top floor, in 303 just kind of peeling back like an onion, as I've said before.
It was pointed out by the Observer that Rizzer actually opened the garage wall already. You see the only 8 Habana pellets left. So they're like prepping it for possibly an execution lane. That's super interesting to me.
It's really interesting, right? Like, it's open now. You could just have someone just sit there on drones with a diffuser, maybe Dylan could just sit outside of there and just get set for that plant behind the white wall, or behind the white van, excuse me. But yeah, just again, more vertical presence being brought out here, but they're not really flushing anyone from 303. 303, as you can see from Vicacious and Sovereign, they're still able to move pretty freely. They're floating like butterflies. The question is, will they be able to sting like bees? But unfortunately, we're not going to get the answer to that question very soon. I don't think any kills are going to happen very quickly as of yet, but actually Sam is low on health, so this push down yellow stairs could prove fatal.
I don't really want to risk anything, because if they give up one life, that with the dwindling time that 303 really has used really well recently, then it just puts them in such a big disadvantage. So they want to make sure they get at least something, maybe destroying this utility, dealing a little bit more damage to this defensive side. But 303, they're still playing pretty cautious. Oh, little Jaeger body gonna fly by, and Vicacious taking a lot of damage is gonna go down, and that might be the entry that Pride needs. They've got 30 seconds left, and there we go. They're gonna start running on, and Tricarium gonna take a lot of damage, but Krill luckily gonna find one, and that is Oni, who goes down.
Oni goes down. I'll tell you who else goes down. That's Sovereign going to fall from the gun of Merc. We've talked about how hot his gun is, even though he is a sub player. Dylan going to be looking to get that plant down behind the white van, but a very nice shot from Triquarium. Unfortunately, he will be felled as well, and the diffuser is going to go down. The smoke not able to make much of a difference in that round, but they are able to pick up Triquarium. But unfortunately for them, this is one of the hardest retakes inside of Siege, especially with how many bodies are remaining from the side of Pride. Now, they just have to win their ones. I hate to break it down to that, but unfortunately, that's exactly what has to happen. But they're just not in position to really get any of these one wins. And fortunately for Sam, he's going to win out against that Maestro. The Alda's not going to go Bird anymore. Gets a triple on the round. Actually, he finishes off with a quad, and Pride, taking everything that I've said about their attacking side, flipping it on its head, they take the first control of the overtime.
Yeah, there we go. I think that was the expected kind of play. You open garage a little early, but then you just clear out top floor. You opened up that vertical and you got something from it. And then you plant in your white van, and it's just the same old. And it worked. Shocking. And now
it's almost like metas are, it's almost like they're effective in a way.
Yeah, I mean, maybe going the expected strategy is the play here, but now 303, they've got to attack this basement side and still electing to go for something like a zero. Triquarium, they've had a really good game on this defensive side, and it's been a while since they've used that gun on that attacking side, but I think they need to do something to bounce back and make sure that we are all evened up. But as we go down to basement, and things are not looking good, as Sam, since that Rio, 6 kills.
Whoa, wait. My goodness, Sam, let's calm you down there just a little bit, my friend. But yeah, thank you. Reinforce that panel. I'm gonna keep hanging my head on this just because it's so head scratching to me. It's definitely a question that we gotta ask. But yeah, the same strategy being brought out here. Obviously, you want to give yourself a little bit of flexibility to play on this top floor. Merc actually opting to bring the castle gives him just a little bit more wiggle room inside of that connector, which is where I'm assuming he's gonna play. If not him, then it's gonna be Oni playing towards that side. But yeah, Pride not changing much up about their defense, and why would you? It definitely has proven that it's worked, and yeah, it's going to be up to 303 to really take the aggression to them. We saw how effective Pride's take was last round, and it's going to be up to 303 to really answer that back.
I think Pride winning their attacking round is just very huge, because this attacking side for this map has just been so lackluster on both sides. We've seen the defensive, I believe, win at like a 2-to-1 ratio, or just something that it's just so much defender sided. And Pride, they looked really, really well on their defensive side, especially during the beginning. And 303, they're not accustomed to going back on this attack because they've been on this defensive side, but Oni going down is a huge gateway for 303 to come on in, because now that top floor is completely yours.
Unfortunately, yeah, Oni, he's one of your team captains. Unfortunately, he's going to have to watch from the sidelines as the rest of Pride goes to work. But Yeah, very nice kill there from Krill. It was again just another instance of playing the same record over and over again, but this time changing the outcome of the gunfight that time. And Sam, his position is given away, but he is going to get the nitro cell from off of Sovereign. And yeah, that's a very big kill to really just even this man count back up. And again, just establish that sort of time wasting. But Sam, not watching his rotations, he's going to get felled by Vicacious off a vertical angle. And yeah, PRYDE are falling here, and 303 have done very well in terms of this roam control, but also watching where the rotations can be and really catching PRYDE off.
Yeah, but you've still got Rizzer, who's just been high. That is Rizzer's area, and I love to see it. I don't think we saw 303 play that bathroom at all on their defensive side, and only Rizzer has really been in there. So 303, they've had different ways of trying to deal with Rizzer. They've left him alone, and leave him alone you cannot do, as now Krill is down, and a frag grenade gonna be wasted as drop that Ella did, and now it's a 3v3, and you still got Rizzer and Merc alive, and Dylan as the SMG-11 still in play. We know how deadly that thing has been.
Oh no.
Oh.
Rizzer! Okay, apparently the gun isn't as accurate as we thought. That Ella recoil proving a little bit too wild there for Rizzer to control, and just, yeah, it's just, oh man, that was just very unfortunate here. But Track, he's going to be looking to take control of the yellow stairs here. He's going to be establishing those zero cameras as well. One of the newest operators that you can bring to the board in the competitive pool, but Rizzer going absolutely insane. Just, oh man, he's peeking everything. He gets the kill onto Vicacious too. It's all up to Silver. He vaults in. The pistol kill comes out. PRYDE dominating this overtime side. Light Rose is still laughing. Unfortunately, I don't have that flexibility. Take control so I can have a laugh too.
I think Rizzer redeemed themselves. That if PRYDE would have lost that round, that would have just been heartbreaking, because Rizzer, definitely that would have been the match if Rizzer found at least taking out Triquarium. But you know, they're able to find kills with the SMG-11, the knife, the pistol. It was just a whole bouquet of weaponry that Siege gives you, and you're able to get the secondary with the melee kill with the Scorpion. So PRYDE winning Consulate in overtime, it's not the best outcome, but in the end you still get 2 points, so it's something.
It's definitely something, right? Like you know, you want to be able to take away every point that's possible, and you miss out on the 3, which is unfortunate. But you know, you were tied when Vendetta still has to win out to take control of that 6th spot. Yes, you don't keep that 6th spot. You don't necessarily secure it, but you still give yourself a little bit of flexibility. But before we head into map 2, before we head into Oregon, we're going to send it off to a 5-minute break. We'll catch you right after.
right, welcome back to Pride 303. If you're just tuning in, you missed Pride winning in overtime 8-6 on Consulate. So that was a fairly interesting match. We saw a lot of crazy things happening, some clutches, but overall it's been a pretty interesting night, and it's been back and forth. We've seen a lot of things happen in 0303. A lot of people expecting Pride to take this. And I think it can kind of show with the new Twitch predictions feature, where a lot of more people have some actual stake in the game.
What is the percentage on that actually? Like, who's like voting for who? I know Chief is probably like spending every single channel point known to man right now. 81% picking Pride. Just yeah, that's to be expected, right? But you know, it showed up there. I mean, they were able to take up that overtime round pretty decisively. But something that I noticed at the end of after the rehost, the kills were spread 12 kills over 2 operators, and then there was like 1 kill to the rest of them, or like I don't know. That was insane performance by a couple of the individuals on Pride.
I mean that 5 minutes, how much Red Bull and Monster Energy can you drink in a 5-minute span? Probably a lot. I mean,
if you don't have an IV drip connected to your veins with G Fuel just flowing through you, you're not doing it right.
Yeah, you pick up these like 24 packs, you set it right on your desk, and just it goes right in. You don't even have to drink it. It's just gamer fuel, G Fuel. It's gamer fuel, and that's what we saw in those past couple of rounds. We saw Pride really win decisively, and that might be the same thing for Oregon, but it is 303's map.
That it is. We're gonna head into it. We're gonna head into the Dominion of 303. 303 on this defensive side, so they really just established the fact that it is theirs. It is their home. Are they going to be able to do that?
I think Oregon could be considered a lot of people's home, how much it's played. So to say it's one team's home, I think they're sharing that home a lot with a lot of other teams. It's got to be pretty packed in that basement and freezer area. And Maverick gonna be the first one to go off the board. I think that might just be possibly for Attic and Blue Wall. Those are, 2 areas that really you would see these hard breach centric kind of sites.
Do we see who else do we see? I mean, I'm expecting a Thatcher ban, maybe. I'm not sure.
I don't
What's
know.
Gonna go on? Yeah, it's the Thatcher ban. Just run of the mill. I'm getting bored of it. Give me something else.
Yeah, the thing is, even when Thatcher is in, we don't usually see him simply because teams go for something else. So maybe banning, I think something else might bring much more of an impact than not banning Thatcher. So you might really able to shift the gameplay a lot. But Kaid, that means that these basement hatches, they're not going to be able to be electrified. And on Attic, actually, you can see some kind of crazy things with these electric claws. I can't exactly, but you're able to throw them outside, and they're able to zap the walls from the outside, and that makes it really hard to deal with. And so that's not going to happen, but that means that Maverick off the board, so Kaid is pretty normal, and Mira, because she's Mira. What else can I say? Oh, you are...
We were talking about homes for different teams. My home is the Shadow Realm.
That was
just
you got hit with a butte jammer right there. Like
Vigil. I'm just a walking embodiment of Vigil. My name is actually redacted. I'm no longer Santos, but you're never gonna know my real identity because I'm never gonna appear on cam again.
And you're gone just like that. And we're gonna start off this game going over with a mute on Kidstorms. Actually, no, mute's going away. So your camera hopefully will be fine if Silver is going to 6-pick off of this mute and go right back to a mute. So sorry to say that you're going to be gone for the time being.
Am I just sitting on a mute jammer eternally? Am I just never going to walk off of this thing? Like
you have that bug where a mute jammer is constantly ringing in your ears. Have you had that bug?
Definitely have, and it's the most annoying thing in Siege.
You can't deal with it. It's just there, and it's constant. And sound I feel in this game is never going to be fixed, because once Ubisoft fixes certain things, another one just pops up. It's the mute jammer bug goes away, suddenly there is just no sound.
The biggest thing is that, like, you know, the coding team at Ubisoft has gone under a lot of change, so that means there's no consistency with the code. So you're just like, coding is definitely a language, and the fact that a bunch of people are different, a bunch of different people are working on that code means that there's going to be no consistency, because obviously I have my different ways of speaking. I'm going to use a bunch of different words. You have your own way of speaking as well. So yeah, when you don't have that consistency, it's tough.
But I think a lot of people don't give coders credit because it is hard. For certain things, it is hard to code. And I think area-based sound is very difficult to code. So even having somewhat decent of that is still pretty good coding in general. But getting that wall opened up is the first thing on PRYDE's agenda. It is not sound. It is just getting that wall open. Krill, they're going to be hanging on back. They know somebody is droning that in, and so do PRYDE. They know somebody's in the back, and ooh, some shots going to be traded off behind that deployable shield.
That deployable shield is actually, I think it's actually a Goyo shield too. So there's a little bit of flexibility that you can have. Obviously, you can fall back with Krill. You can fall back as much as you need to. Just pop that Goyo shield and prevent any further push into Attic. But that's going to be shot out by the Zofia using that not breaching launcher, excuse me, that grenade launcher, just popping that shield and giving themselves further rain into Attic. And yeah, the push is going to be interesting, with Sam taking a lot of that damage in that initial gunfight for sure.
The drones I think are absolutely huge for PRYDE. You know, they escorted Sam in. They knew that there were two things, so they were able to throw that in. But sadly, I was going to mention the utility is not lost, but it is, as now Sam is going to be off the board, and Sovereign is still going to try to peek this area, maybe find another one. They're going to barely miss one's head. And that Selmo is going to be able to destroy that, as Sovereign is they're trying to find something. And it feels like there's bullets whizzing around everywhere. But luckily, Oni is going to be able to find Sovereign and PRYDE. They seem to have control of everything around the site. They just need to push onto the site.
Yeah, we're seeing another sort of just replay of what has been going on in this matchup. They take all the control that they need, but then they stall out towards the execute here. Dylan actually in position to try and get the plant down, but they do have to clear out the player playing by white stairs here. And yeah, Dylan just trying to get a pick off here, try to get a pick off for free. They're going to start smoking off Dylan's plant spot, but this nitro cell could prove fatal for Dylan. He's going to fall, Oni as well, but Rizard pulls one back onto Krill, but it's still a 3v2 man advantage. Now 3v1 with Rizard falling, and Merc in a very precarious situation here. He only has 10 seconds to play off of, and he's really just going to try and get a pick off for free. Unfortunately, he's stuck in that sort of game's hallway. Track is going to get a shot onto him, and 303 established the first round here.
And it's kind of crazy because PRYDE had control of that round. They got the first, did they get, no, that was actually 303 that got the first pick onto Sam. But, you know, there was a refrag, and so there was a 4v4. They were just waiting all around site, and then once they just push in, everything fell apart. You know, we did see those smokes going out from the Ace, the nitro cells. So there was a lot of secondary utility being used in that round, and in the end, it just really favored 303. And I think that possibly could come down to the site choice. So going over to basement, this could favor PRYDE a lot more. They're going to stick with mostly the same thing, I believe, will my as well. So will this change much? We're seeing, you know, the smoke playing probably in blue, because that is really the play. You put a Goyo shield or any deployable shield down, you put a smoke behind it, and then wait for them to use their utility on that. You know, use ADSs. It's just trying to drain as much time as you can and then backing off.
It's definitely worked out for them, because PRYDE, when they have the execution happening, there isn't really too much that they're able to accomplish, because 303 are doing a very good job at controlling these gunfights and making sure that they are as one-sided as possible here. I'm looking for 303 to continue that and maybe try to get a little bit aggressive with that, and just try to play the angle game a little bit more and get an early pick like they did in that last round, because, you know, those early picks are definitely momentous. And if 303 is able to keep that going, then that just spells even more danger for PRYDE, who have shown that they have a little bit of a weakness. I think he was drawing an emoji in the wall.
Aww.
He's not feeling happy about something. Sovereign, you okay?
There's something else. I heart
Tell me more.
F O R
I think
for
he loves
Ferme.
Ferme.
It's gonna say Ferme.
We love Ferme too.
We love Ferme. Can we check it, observer?
Aw, thanks,
Don't worry,
Sov.
we know.
Of you.
Thanks,
We're way
Sovereign.
ahead of you.
I love you too. Thank you.
Aw.
No, get back to the game. You're playing.
Heartwarming moments, and now we gotta go back to killing and guns and pew pew. Yeah.
Just, you know, a heartwarming moment. It's kind of like an action movie. You take that little bit of a break in the action, and you immediately just ambush it with bloodshed. And Oni definitely wasn't expecting it. He gets shot in the face by the by our artist here.
Yeah, sadly, they got skills with a paintbrush and the gun, the most deadly type of artist. And now Oni, who was able to get a kill in that first round, but they have no chance at the second round. So now 303, they've got Sovereign still hanging out in this kitchen area, and they are being very, very stealthy. That air jab can be able to be shot out. So that gunshot might have located Dylan to Sovereign's position, but still they're just able to stealth around, and it is not. As once again, being on your phone gets you killed, and Sovereign is just able to run around, get another kill, and just run away. It's Sovereign art.
The whole map is his canvas. The whole map has been his canvas, and he's just drawing circles around the side of Pride. They haven't been able to deal with Sovereign, who gets yet another one. Unfortunately, no ace, though. Track is able to find the final kill onto Merc. 303 take another round, and this one was dominant, mainly because of Sovereign. Just, you know, when you show Ferme love, you establish momentum early. That's the ultimate source of momentum. Forget opening kill. Let's do opening drawings.
Now, I feel like that's going to be a gateway, because then we are going to see some rocket ships being drawn on walls. I don't know if Twitch will TOS us, essentially.
I don't think they'd be happy.
Yes.
I don't think Twitch would be happy. Twitch is definitely just not happy with that. No, that shouldn't happen.
Going over to kitchen now. 303 look absolutely in control, and Shakarium going on the warden, so no smoke canisters will get the best of 303 as long as the man with the glasses is available. And if 303, are we going to see somewhat of a similar style from the last map, you know, where these defensive rounds are the absolutely dominant ones, and the attacking side, just you're able to get 1, maybe 2 rounds, and whoever gets that most really seems to be in control. And the third round, I believe, of last map was where Pride, or 303, won their first attacking round. So will this be the same? Because this is definitely the weakest defensive site, barring Meeting and Kitchen.
I mean, we've seen two ends of the spectrum here in terms of how they're winning these defensive rounds. One of them was counteracting the execute onto the site. This other one was just Sovereign being an absolute menace and just walking around the map, doing whatever he wants to do, and Pride having no answer for it. So we'll call it just not being able to deal with the roamers and really not having a chance to do the execute at all. But Pride here looking to do a sort of small tower take, excuse me, and yeah, Sovereign feeling a little bit of the pressure there from the window. He's gonna fall back, but they still have control over that Shawware's hallways, which is huge, and there isn't much you can accomplish from this small tower. Maybe push into the dining room, but other than that, it's just walking into a bunch of angles that 303 have definitely set up.
Yeah, and I think the trick is really going around to those. You know, we're seeing the hard breach available. Habana, those pallets are gonna get destroyed, but she's just got so many. She's got 24. Yeah, you just wasted 2 impacts on 4 Habana pellets, and now they're just still. Dylan has Habana pellets for days. What do you do? Go again. Throw another impact, please. Dylan, I need to see more. Yes, more. Please, you have another. Yes, another impact. We've got 6 more Habana pellets, and you run out of impacts.
Okay, a very good impact play being brought out from. I'm assuming that was just all 6 of the impacts there from Silver, Vacations, and Sovereign, and just just denying any sort of pressure onto Showers. But Sam actually has control of the dining room doorway and is just waiting for maybe an ill-advised rotation to come out. But Rizzer gets caught out again. Vicacious going insane as well. 2-0 on the matchup here, and this defensive half on Oregon is looking insurmountable.
Yeah, and now they have that Habana area open, but it's gonna allow Merc to claim Sovereign, who sadly did not get a little masterpiece drawing this round. But Pride, they still need to get another one. They've only evened that man count. They're locating some utility as Sam's able to find out Tricarium. Drones are available. Sam actually in sight. But it is a 3v3. Dylan has a diffuser, but oh no, Vicacious. The Belusi is going to be on this flank. They're going to get one, and they're going to get two, and diffuser is down. And oh, they want to get the third one. They're going for the flicks. They're going for the flicks, and it's not going to work out, sadly, as cool as that would have been.
It would have definitely been a nice shot for sure, but Sam is still alive with 50 HP to go. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen for him, though. Silver is going to fall to the bullets of the M762, but Krill refrags that out. 303 again with just another, I think that's just another simplistic round. The defense going exactly how you expect it to. Obviously, you can't really track the fact that Sovereign's just going to go on a 4K like last round, but when you have a team effort there to just deny every Habana pellet its existence, and it's just going to work out for you in the end of that defense for sure. They definitely have a hatred towards fidget spinners.
I want to quote Far Cry 3. I want to quote Far Cry 3 so bad. Insanity is the same, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Habana has 24 pellets. And she's able to shoot it 12 times. You have to have double the impacts to deal with that. So it was just funny seeing them rotate people out just to throw impacts down. And Habana still had 6 more pellets after they were done. So it was just, oh my god, it was hilarious to watch that.
That was clip of the year. I'm saying it right now. That was clip of the year in terms of just Dylan was just struggling with that wall for I think that was like a minute and a half. They just burned a minute and a half, and they were like, no, we're not going to adjust. We're going to keep trying and getting this wall open, but you can't account for having 6 impact nades on the board. I don't think you can read into that. That's just something that happens.
Habana doesn't have 24. She's got 18. So, I mean, still, you lose 6, but still, it's oh my gosh. You going up to Kids Dorms. We're still seeing that Habana being played. I don't think we'll see the exact same amount of impacts, but we do see the kind of same operator plays. You know, we're seeing the Mute, Goyo, Malusi, the same type of plays, but we don't see a Wamai, who we've seen from 303 in this recent past. You know, Sovereign and Vicacious, you know, they swapped back and forth a little bit with this Wamai, not Mawai. But so this operating choice might help them in the end, but it just seems like 303, they have control of this match. And they're having fun doing it, honestly.
That's the biggest thing whenever you're playing any sort of game, right? You want to have fun. And I can tell you right now that impact tricking would have just had me laughing in the team comms. But Sovereign, again, just doing this rat roam, just looking to wreak havoc on anyone on the Pride side. And Sam pushing in very aggressively, but loses a lot of HP as a result. But they do have attic control now, and it's going to come down to the push and whether or not they can get into that sort of attic corridor, or will they just be met by bullets from 303 as has been the trend.
Yeah, Merc's taking a little bit of damage, but that Goyusha going down, and there we go. Pride, they're going to get that man advantage as both Tricarium and Vicacious going down. Pride needs to get this round to stop a huge momentum swing. They've got the drones, and they've got utility in their pocket. They've got smokes. They've got breaching charges. They got flashbang, but Sovereign still has a say in this round. They're able to take out Rizzer. That C4 gonna go off. It's gonna get nothing, but that doesn't matter. It's somewhat of a distraction. As now walk-in closet, there's Habana pellets. They're not gonna get impacted, and they're gonna open that up. And Sovereign in sight. They are still gonna try to go off. And the longer they're alive, the longer Pride knows that something is lurking around the corner.
Silver in a very tough position here. Is he going to be able to get the kill onto Dylan? That could be the very big crux to this round. But Yeah, they're looking to sort of push into Trophy as well as this game's door, but Silver actually opts to forfeit control, just being conscious of his flank here. He wins it out actually against Sam. I wasn't expecting him to, just due to the spectator view, but obviously Silver just with a very nice shot onto Sam, but unfortunately for him, he's not long to last, and Pride is finding their frags. They're actually pulling off this execution to a T, but if there's anything that anyone has to say about it, it's going to be Krill, who actually finds Merc. The substitute is going to fall first. Unfortunately, no more people are going to fall, and that's Pride winning their first attacking round.
They're finally going to get on the board, and that's very good because now they get a much better chance to go 4-2 on this attacking side. You know, we've seen this trend happening, especially in this match. It's just these attacking sides aren't doing as well as these defensive sides. So getting one that puts your foot in the door, and you've still got 2 rounds to go to get another one. And going down over to Laundry, this was not a good round for Pride. They did not seem to be in control at all, and it was run extremely decisively by 303, and that was partly due to just Sovereign going all over the place. And they're not going to go on that Malusi. There's going to be no Malusi this time. There is going to be an alibi.
So Alibi obviously bringing those impact nades to the board, or actually no, not bringing the impact. She's going to opt for that deployable shield, which is being put in a very standard position. Obviously, you need to be able to play around that pillar, and you need to be able to pressure onto blue or maybe onto the pillar stairs. Whatever you so choose, you need to be able to enable that position to be played, and that deployable shield just does just that. Now we also have the standard elbow hold as well, the sort of dirt hold that's being brought out here from the smoke, as well as the Jaeger ADSs to cover it off, and it's looking like a very standard hold from 303. But again, Pride have looked. It's really come down to they weren't able to establish any control onto the basement at all last time, and Sovereign again gonna go on that deep roam. Do we see another smiley face? We might actually have a spawn peek this time, and will he land the shots? Is the big question here.
They're gonna punch that window, and oh no, there it is! And it's Oni as well, who has been quieter this game, but still, they are one of the fraggers on Pride. And geez, Sovereign in these basement plays has just had their way drawn. Art taking spawn peeks, just being stealthy. It's once again, you can tell they're having fun.
I'm sure he's laughing. I'm sure he's just laughing it up right now in the comms. Track is probably having a little bit of a laugh right now, as well as Merc is going to be felled by that MP5K. Not exactly my choice of gun for the Wamai. I do prefer that sort of stopping power that the AUG brings. Vicacious with another one. That's a quick peek with the Vector. Gonna find Rizzer, and yeah, Pride's attack has certainly been just stifled here. Stam does find one back on the track though. Oh my goodness, again. Stop it.
How many times have we caught somebody on their phone, and Sovereign is just the deadly killer of tonight? You see, his aim, his reflexes, doesn't matter who he's on. You said your aim was bad. You were clicking heads left and right, using that utility, just running around like, oh my gosh, Sovereign.
There's nothing wrong with your aim, my friend. There was nothing wrong with that. That is a tough one gunfight to win in the first sort of instance, the first sort of quick peek. As long as you win it out in the second time, as long as you make the adjustments, it's fine. Your aim is perfectly fine. You have 9 kills to show over 5 rounds. You're doing great, friend. You're doing great.
I don't like to see reflex slander on my timeline. I just believe I saw Triquarium slander the reflex site, which is not allowed.
You're a reflex player?
I love the reflex.
I'm not gonna trash talk it because it's grown on me too.
It's very fun. I feel like it is a lot better on SMGs than assault rifles. It's a lot better to, the holographic. It's a little more cluttery, a little more thick than the reflex, and that's why I think for a lot of high rate of fire guns, the reflex just feels a lot better for me personally. You see right then we just saw Sovereign. I mean, Sovereign was using the reflex and did get a 3K. So I mean, Not saying that helped at
You might
all.
have a point here. You have a point, right?
You might say that just a low sample size, but I say, can you deny the facts?
The facts have been presented. Never mind the fact that we don't have a real like statistical bell curve going on here. Just look at the 3K and then look at nothing else.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
But again, another tower take here from PRYDE. We've seen it time and time again. It is the most effective thing that you can do to get control of Attic. Back up to the kids' dorms they go, and yeah, 303 just didn't do a good job last time of slowing down the attack through Attic, so that's what they're going to be looking to adjust throughout the course of this round. And yeah, we got Krill playing on this Attic again, just pop the shield and then fall back. That is how you play the Attic, and no reason to change it here. They just weren't able to deal with the execute, but you might call PRYDE lucky throughout how they were able to pull off the execute last time.
Yeah, they're going for the same thing despite really not having success in most things. Krill sitting all 3 ADSs over here. They know that they just want to delay as much as they can because someone's there. They're going to really peek, but nothing's going to be there. So those ADSs, still that Goyo shield needs to be Dimma deleted, and there it is. But Krill is going to burn for just a little bit. I don't think they realized how much range that shield had. And now PRYDE, they have Attic all to themselves, but they've been in this situation before. They've had time, and they've had space, and they've wasted it. So how are they going to use it this time around?
They look to be just aggressing into Attic very quickly. We see the same wall getting opened up by Dylan to allow the entrance into games. So they take into Attic to cut off the crossfire that can happen into games. They try to cut off the people that are playing inside of kids, and then they execute from there. Dylan with the execution onto Silver, though unfortunately your mute is off the board. That is one of your nitro cells as well, and 303 are on the back foot early.
And now Oni is going to be the person to go down, so it is a 4v4. It's really close, and PRYDE, they need to finish this out. They need to get at least 2, or it is just not going to look pretty at all on their attacking side. And just time slowly ticking away. Dylan has that diffuser, and they've got somewhat entry onto site because of this Habana. X-Kairos and his Rizzer is able to take out Krill. This means that it's making it a lot easier. That Malusi is going to still just give away a little bit of the general location of some MSC smoke canisters are going to start to go off. And just right now, it's just abiding time as Sovereign going to run right into the face first of an Ash, whose diffuser is starting to go down, and that is just comedic timing at its best. And halftime, here we go. PRYDE, they're gonna win 2 out, so it's not hopeless because now 303, they're on their attacking side, and these attacking sides have just not looked good at all.
Yeah, the attacking sides have been a point of struggle for both of our teams really throughout tonight. We've seen just a lot of struggles on the attack, just tough. It's been tough to force rotations from players. I think that has been the main theme throughout today. And I mean, Sovereign going insane, that bought you that round. So, you know, I think 303, a very solid defensive side there, but it did take a lot of big plays from Sovereign. You know, 10 kills throughout one half is definitely a big sort of thing that you can lean on. But through the side switch we go. Sovereign putting himself on the Ash. He wants to keep these frags going.
I mean, we'd love to see these frags. I mean, some people say they're not interesting, but it can make for some great fragging montages in general. And what's very interesting is seeing the Clash being brought out. Now, this is a site that you really might actually see a Clash being played very competitively because she's just able to hold in that blue. And if you give these areas, give good rotates, then this would allow that Clash to really rotate away, possibly repeat with that SPSG. And how is Dylan going to use her? Is it going to be a waste pick, or is it going to be an actual mega brain play? Because that's really the only thing that PRYDE, they need something. I know that 303, their attack might not be up to par, but they just look pretty good. Their drones do look pretty secure. They've got a lot of them in their pocket. But the utility of PRYDE looks so set up around this blue, and oh no, I don't think they're ready for the storm of hurt that is coming. But that drone, I think that drone actually spotted them, so they know something is coming.
They know something's up. Dylan and Oni obviously having that 416 in hand. He just needs to get a quick peek off, but unfortunately, Dylan is going to be stunned. And with this changes to shields, that means that he's going to expose his feet. More explosives fly through, and they're just trying to do the damage to Dylan. Those ADSs were not placed properly, and it doesn't value any flexibility there. And Oni is really caught between a rock and a hard place, just not landing these quick peeks behind this clear, bulletproof surface that Clash brings to the table. And Clash is very soon to be down. Wait, what just happened? The electric shield kills Silver, and the bullets kill Sovereign, and oh man, 303 have been slowed down. They've been dumbfounded by this Clash play. Oh, even more is happening. They finally pick off Oni, but not before the damage is done, and they're down a bunch of people. Sam finds his own kill as well onto track, and it's not likely Vacacious to win this, not with the Clash still on the board. He finishes off Sam, but no, it's not happening.
Think you doubt our friend's abilities to win this out? Oh, some damage. I believe in Vacation.
No.
Please win this. Yes, win that one. Come on. I'm betting channel points right now. This is essentially gambling, and they're gonna use the drone that they have. They're on very, very low HP, and oh no, that Maestro Cam is gonna delete that drone. And I might have to shift over to the fact that this might not be possible with how low Vacacious is. Dylan incredibly low, but they have got that bulletproof shield, and they can just slowly deal damage to Vacacious without fear of ever getting shot. So a rotate is in order, but is it a needed rotate? Is it just delaying the inevitable? Who knows? We got about 50 seconds left, as I think Merc knows that Vacacious is about to rotate. And yep, there it is.
If it's not given away by those bullets being used to take down that door reinforcement, it's definitely going to be given away by this Malusi, as well as just this sequence of quick peeking that is happening. They get the down. He's going to try and pick himself back up with a withstand, but they're going to allow Clash to finish him off. Dylan earned that kill. That one is completely yours. And PRYDE, just like Dylan earned the kill, they earned the round.
Good. Let the hatred flow through you. We saw 2 Clash Shield electrified kills there, essentially, and that is just it's very funny to see. And it's unfortunate because 303 were actually very, very close to cracking that situation. We saw Oni getting very, very low, the Clash getting very, very low. And if they were able to take that on, they were able to rush the Clash, push forward, make sure that nobody was able to get a little flank on them, they would have secured this round. So that's just the way it goes, not able to win that. But they've still got this 1 round lead. And we're going over to kids' dorms. And no, Triquarium going off the 0 for like the first time in forever. That's impossible. I thought Triquarium was a 0-1 trick.
Can we validly say that anyone is a 1 trick with 0 yet?
Well, how much we've seen Triquarium play 0 in these SCS matches. At least here. There is 0
I'll take it.
In my eye.
Okay, I'll take that. That's definitely. I mean, the 0 is just free information. We've talked about how even if they shoot it out even if they shoot out those cams as soon as they're deployed, they still value a little bit of information. Just you can know that someone is playing that position, but unfortunately, we're not going to see it. We're going to see a different sort of utility being brought to the board. We got that IQ. I was talking to a friend of mine, and I think IQ is going to see a boost in pick rate, despite not bringing the G8, opting for the AUG this time.
Yeah, I think with the protrusion of the Mozzie and Mute Many, that just being the forefront of everything with Jaeger being nerfed, because that's might be a little bit of what we're seeing coming in the future. So having IQ going underneath, knowing where these spiders are, these Mute Jammers are, and just finding some way to get rid of them is really the best thing to do in these situations. The best operator utility that you can really bring. And 0 can somewhat do the same thing, but you also risk his camera being shot, and you risk him not really knowing where these Mute Jammers are coming from. So IQ is a perfectly safe pick when it comes to this. Right now, walk-in closet, there's going to be a little hole opened up for that, and that hole is going to be just enough for 3-3 to really look through and make sure nothing happens.
They can't ensure everything though. 303 actually ensure that Merc is fallen. The sub unfortunately down for the count. That's your Maestro off the board, not able to turn those cameras anymore, but they still have Rizzer to contend with, and he's actually going to swing onto Trophy. It was very ill-advised. Not sure what he was thinking there. Sovereign with the headshot onto him. Don't peek Sovereign at all, especially if you're doing it blindly. He's going to have his 11th kill, and Sam actually holding very effectively here inside of Attic and stifling this push that could happen into games. They're going to have to flush out Sam in some sort of way, but right now 303 looking like they've stalled just a little bit here, and a lot of repositioning happening from Pride to adjust to what 303 have shown so far.
Oh no!
No, never mind. Bad rotation, Oni. Bad job. Vicacious, Sovereign as well. Dylan, you're our last hope. Help us, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're our only hope. Dylan's the only hope here. He's going to try and land the headshots. He actually does get the down onto Sovereign. He's going to use the smoke grenade to finish him off. Actually, it doesn't land, and he's not going to land any shots, but Vicacious lands onto him. 303 with a flawless round, and 303 earned that round they lost straight back and in dominant fashion.
I mean, that was just comedic timing. Oni's brain is too big, and that helmet giving the way and possibly giving away the chance for Pride to win that round at all. That allowed the diffuser to go down and only left the smoke. Who SMG11, smoke that's been on fire tonight, but sadly against 5 members, diffuser down, you're really not gonna have a chance. So going back over to kids' dorms, we're seeing a mute still being played. So loud entrance into site really, really easily. Walk-in closet was available, and suddenly peeking this, peeking that, Rizzer peeking for some reason. I know the drone spotted them, but still, that's not your best interest. And you go down, and all of a sudden, 303, they've got time, man count, and everything around the site, and it's just not looking good. And they got one more round to go until they're on match point.
Maybe a little bit of over-aggression happening from Rizzer, because we see him currently sitting at 2-7. It's questionable the fact that he peeked into Trophy like that. A lot of guns were trained onto that singular doorway. You don't have a lot of flexibility to play off of. You can only really peek from one side unless you want to stick yourself in the corner. But I just don't know why Rizzer did so. But new round. Time to refresh. Don't hang your head on what happened last round. Just play a little smarter. I'm sure that Rizzer is kind of biting himself for that kill. But yeah, what is 303 gonna? Is 303 gonna be able to pull 2 in a row? They're offering a little bit more contention onto that attic wall, but it seems like 303 are just adjusting and just trying to play towards that bedroom side that little bit more, and Pride have read this a little bit wrong. Oh, whoa. Never mind.
Yeah, going for a cheeky little thing, going for something that we saw on the side of 303, and it is not going to work out at all. It's just going to give away the general position of Sam, not going to delay the attack at all, and it happened. That's all you can really say. But 303, they're already getting this walk-in closet wall open. Nobody's in games. And so now you've got somewhat entrance onto site. And if they're able to really get into this, make sure that whoever is on this first floor misses that C4, they were killed, just something, and they're able to win this round. And there we go, entrance onto the rest of whatever they need to get into. And it's just waiting now. We're playing the waiting game here. Drones, angles, whatever is needed to get any advantage, it's taken by both teams.
Just trying to maybe get that initial pick here. Sam playing in a very, I think that's an unsafe position here, playing inside of that rotate hole, but they do eliminate the Maestro cam, and Rizzer is going to fall as well. He didn't peek that time, but the GA is going to peek you, and it's going to win the gunfight 9 times out of 10, but Sam still kind of uncontested inside of Attic, but unfortunately a lot of utility was spent to try and protect that side. Well, guess what? There's nobody pushing from there, so you have to deal with the push through the bedroom side with just your bullets. I think they were able to clear out all of the utility that was sitting inside of games. So yeah, 303 just looking to get another pick before they go for this execute. Sovereign's going to relocate and just make himself an unknown entity on the map here. But Krill is going to fall to Merc as well.
Yeah, Silver going in the smoke, not
Ooh.
going default, so I think that'll help them a lot. But oh no, that sneaky knife kill happens. and Vicacious goes down. So now it's a 2v4, 1v4 as PRYDE just gets this advantage. It's Aquarium. They just don't have the skill to really win that out. Not even the skill, just they were left in an unfortunate situation. And PRYDE, they're not going to make it so that 3-0-3 goes on match point just yet. They're going to win out kids.
I mean, that was just confusing. They had control of Addict. You really just have to force people out of positions and then go for that plant inside of the ghost corner. But yeah, very good round from PRYDE. That knife was definitely something for the highlight tape. Sam, you had to have known that someone was going to be playing inside of Attic. That was a very questionable place to put that diffuser down. And yeah, the knife happens. We see Echo on the board. I'm happy about this one. Echo now brought back into the competitive pool after being absent for so long. All right, crush my dreams. We got Clash instead.
I mean, there's no real reason to bring in Echo, I think, because of how viewable his drones are. I mean, yeah, you've still got that plant denial, but a lot of these teams are so aware of their surroundings and they're so aware of what is different. You know, a different pixel possibly means somebody's there and they're able to get a kill. So if this large round drone on the ceiling is just shooting invisible beams, then they're going to be able to locate that, and that just means that you're losing utility that you could bring on someone else. And you know, PRYDE, they're electing go with that Clash. It worked out last time. Why not bring it again? But well, 3-0-3, I think they need to play this differently. They had a chance. They could test their luck. They could try the exact same thing because they were close, but it's risky. It's risky going for the same thing.
I'm sure that 303 are going to read into this as soon as they see the Clash on the board, and they're just going to say, hey, let's just flip out of here. I don't want to lose 10 bodies to 2 people again. I don't want to lose all of our bodies to 2, just the Clash being a troll. Let's just move. Let's just move here. I'm hoping they read into this and be like, I don't want to push through this. But apparently I'm wrong. They want to push straight through this Clash. They want to establish dominance over the elbow, and I'm not sure if this is going to work out for them so far. Let's wait and see for the first gunfights to fall.
Right now, it's just like it's literally playing peekaboo. We're literally playing peekaboo with guns. Oni gonna be dealt some damage, but still nothing happening. There we go. The wall has fallen. Oni and Dylan both go down, and they're not really gonna have a chance at being picked up. They actually might.
Actually, no, they get the pickups.
Oh, that's absolutely huge. But the chance is now Sovereign. You got to go. And all of a sudden, it's an even man count, even though Dylan and Oni, they're on low HP. That's a massive blunder, and that could be the round over. The window was there, and it closed.
I'm just okay. The greed that all, the kill greed that happens with all T3 players just didn't show its face there, and now Oni is going to be able to hold this long angle into blue, and 303 are right back to where they started, minus the fact that there's no Clash in their face. But now they're just fighting another uphill battle, and the Ash of Sovereign is giving away his position as he tries to push down the pillar stairs, has to shoot out that, or has to punch out that barbed wire. And yeah, 303 are able to open this wall, but unfortunately I'm not sure how much they're going to be able to accomplish with it. They do accomplish a kill onto Oni though, so that pressure onto pillar has been alleviated, and now they have free reign to just play on this pillar side and try to get a plant down wherever they see fit, but that smoke is still on the board.
If they're really able to push this back, that would be the round. Dylan is still on low HP, but they're just able to deflect bullets, and Rinser still in the corner, taken out by Cassius. So now they know somebody's there, but that shotgun is equipped, and it's prepped on that, but they are going to go down. And Silver with 2 kills on this round, looking for more. It's just Sam and Merc, and only Merc, who's got so many bullets in that magazine, and he's gonna peek. He's gonna not do any damage. Diffuser gonna start to be planted. He knows where somebody is. The Tracer's just peeing everywhere, and it's not gonna work out. 303, they go on to match point. Dealing with Clash and Jaeger a little bit differently. They're able to get revived, but in the end, they're gonna win it out on this basement side.
I thought when they didn't confirm the kills onto the Jaeger in the Clash, I thought that spelt the end of the line for 303. So props to them for picking up their heads and realizing that it's not really about the kills at the end of the day. It's about the control that you can establish. And once they were able to clear out that side, they were able to just take control of elbow, establish those long angles, and I don't think Pride were any the wiser. And it was a very good attempt from the mute player to try and prevent any sort of, or the smoke player, excuse me, to prevent any further push. But at the end, it was all for naught, and we're gonna see a reattempt, but we are not gonna see a clash this time. They're not gonna pull out that pocket strat again. It was kind of becoming old news. Like it was just kind of cringe to see, if we're gonna be completely honest here. It was funny. It was like I'm surprised it worked for as long as it did, though.
I mean, it almost worked for the second round too. You can't call it cringe.
Fair.
It's the Santos. You can't
I
call
admit
it
defeat.
if it works. So
I
no
admit
clash
defeat.
this time. No clash this time. They're gonna elect to go for a Wamai. So a little bit more grenade denial. You got those proximity alarms. So they're go for a little bit of a different. Instead of a person who's a proximity alarm, they're just going for an actual device who is a proximity alarm. So a little bit deadly, a little bit less defensive.
Yeah, but the AUG is a very strong weapon. Not opting to bring that MP5K with that 1.5 scope, just opting for the slow fire rate, but the added damage that you have with the AUG as well. But yeah, 303 finally doesn't have to deal with the clash. I'm sure they're feeling relieved as they try to push into elbow here. And it's a little bit more standard in terms of what teams are used to, because you're used to seeing the fact that, hey, they're not going to protect elbow that hard, especially not with a clash. They're just going to stick that smoke in that elbow corner and just let him try and survive for as long as possible and eventually just retreat back. So can 303 push him out of that position? They obviously have to deal with the person playing by pillar as well. So a lot of things to check off the checklist if you are 303.
Rizzer being in that corner, they're actually not going to put the smoke over there. They're going to put the Wamai there. So no smoke canister is going to be used, and that might help them a lot more in this later round. But Rizzer actually not fully retreating. They're just going to back off a little bit. They know that they can quickly go back. You know, I believe the reinforcements, the speed got updated, so that allows you to be a little bit more aggressive on this defensive side. But they've still got Sam to worry about. And then, again, I don't think the drone actually spotted them, but now it for sure did. So they know that somebody is inadequate. Rizzer's still hiding in elbow. Takes out Vicacious and Silver on low HP.
Silver on low HP, but you do forfeit a lot of control, and you aren't able to get the reinforcement off, I think, is the hugest point here. So you give 303 another avenue of attack and another angle that you have to watch on your own. It does help that you were able to get the kill onto Vicacious, but Sam, is he going to get this kill onto Zero? Does Track hear him coming? No, he doesn't. Not able to get the flick off in time. Sam gets a kill, but Krill actually with another kill onto Rizzer as well. The diffuser actually does go down. Silver with a plant behind my eyes, as well as behind a Pride eyes as well.
Oh, unfortunate that Sam was just, there were so many available options, but they were just not able to win that. And it seems that as more and more members of Pride go down, it's just looking grim. But Ace falling, biting the dust to Merc's gun is going to be great. But sadly, it's just the SMG-11, and it is not going to do the damage. As 303, they're going to win the second round. Pride, that is not the results that you wanted there.
You are now a Dallas Vendetta hater if you are a Pride fan, because you needed more points here today, and the fact that you only escaped with 2, that is incredibly tough.
I believe they did get 3 because of the 1 point. Or no,
Wait,
is there 0
nope,
points? No, 0 points with the
It
loss.
was 2.
Yeah. So
it was 2 because they won that overtime, and then yeah.
I mean, that's a lot closer, I believe, than a lot of people expected. So 303 winning that second map, pushing expectations, making sure that their season not over just yet. They are still making sure. And Santos, Butte Jammer, Shadow Realm, whatever you want to call it, they have gone goodbye, and they're back just like that.
Hi, I'm back from the Shadow Realm, but we're gonna send you guys over to the realm of a break. We got 10 minutes on the docket. We're gonna be back with our second matchup of the day. My name is Santos, Light Rose. Pleasure casting with you the first time. We'll see you guys later.